fine. That 100% is fine. But Mars, you're gonna get one way or another, Mars, you're gonna give me this kid. Yes, you are. You handed him over at some point. And I don't mean in 5 or 6 years neither. I'm talking because I'm not trying to hear another Josh Giddey situation where he's in your rotation and you using him the wrong way and he's looking less than. That's a franchise lead guard right there. That's a lead guard that I want to. Yes, that's a lead guard that I can build my unit around. 100%.
Championship show. We talking about Josh Giddey?
You gonna give me this? You gonna give me the kid, Mars? Yes, you are. You giving him up? Yes, you are.
For the right price, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Chill. I'm sure you think he's gone this season, Nikola Topic?
I don't know if he's gone this season. In fact, I think that Oklahoma City sees what they had with Josh Giddey and what they're doing now with Topic. And I think Topic, to be quite honest with you, he's much more aware on the floor than Josh Giddey. I love Josh Giddey also. But I feel like Topic is, and Penn and I had this conversation last night via when he was on the chat. I think his awareness on the floor, I think he sees the game a lot further. The last guy that I thought about when I thought about this was Bird. And I don't mean that he's Bird, but what I mean when I say this is Bird used to talk about seeing plays a couple of plays ahead. Like he'll see the game going 2 or 3 plays. That's what Topic reminds me of. There was a play where he had gotten the ball in the outlet. He was on the right side of the floor. He had gotten the ball in the outlet. I forgot the guy's name that's running behind him. And Topic is keeping him close, but he's keeping him close enough where he knows that he's going to him, and then he immediately dives right to this guy running on the wing. He's running, and he's drawing the defense over, and he drops right on the floor to the guy running behind him for a wide open shot. That's seeing the game. That's foreshadowing. And that's like, I think that that's stuff that you can't teach. That's like superpowers that you can only enhance. And I think that Topic has that stuff. On top of that, how busy his hands are when he's off the ball. And I'd like to see him get in his stance a little bit more, because standing up on defense, you can get beat a lot of times. But the stuff that I see, more than anything, I don't know if you guys have ever watched The Wire. It's like paws on a puppy, man. This kid is the real deal. I love everything about him. Mars, you're going to give me the kid. You're going to hand him over. Yes, you are. Because I'm not going to watch him turn into something less than what he can be. And I think he's not only a starting lead guard in the league, I think he's somebody that I can build my unit around. I love everything about this kid.
They really don't have the player type on their roster, though.
No, they do not. That is fair.
So they could use him if he can shoot. That's important. You got to be able to shoot.
And I think we can fix that, Penn. And I don't mean immediately. And that's what I'm saying. I don't mean immediately, but I do think that that's something we can fix with him. Like, we've seen guys who've had funky jump shots or their touch. I mean, we saw Lonzo Ball. When Lonzo Ball showed up, like, they had to fix the mechanics on his shot, and it got better. So I feel like with this kid, that's something that we can fix. It may take some time, but I think we can fix it.
He got to want it.
Oh, he does. His motor, he's one of those kids, Ron, that the motor isn't a question for me. Like, he looks like he plays all day long. I love that about him. I do.
Yeah, so to Penn's point, he didn't really have the best shooting night last night. He shot 2 for 13, and he went 0 for 6 from 3. But to Chill's point, he had his paws all over the court. 3 steals, 5 assists. And if you was watching the game, he was in the action. So I liked what I seen. Mars, how you feel about him?
He has the weaknesses I said he had, and he has the strengths I said he had. He's
what are those weaknesses?
The in-between game, some of the touch stuff, especially on outside shooting, the on-ball defense. I've seen him knocked off balance way too many times for my liking in summer league. I think he has good feel as a passer, but I'm worried about the gravity he's going to have as a scorer to really maximize that. I think, especially in his first summer league game, I think defenses were quite frankly just overreacting to a threat that he hadn't shown he possessed. And then I think last night you saw some of the more limitations forcing him into some shots that he's not very accustomed to making right now. So I think he's flawed. I think he's 19, 20?
I think he just turned 19, as a matter of fact.
To be expected for someone of his age playing point guards. But I think he's cool. I think there's potential. I don't think he's going to reach that potential in OKC. So hand
him over, Mars. Give me the kid.
Yeah,
So
I guess.
So
If
he
you want
took
to
us
make him a
turn 20.
franchise point guard, then go for it. But yeah, I don't think in OKC he's going to reach that potential. So maybe you do trade him. I don't know.
He turns 20 next month, just so we're clear on that.
Okay, so he's
Yep.
old 19. He's an old 19.
With that being said, though, the reason why I can foresee him potentially going is how do we feel about AJ Mitchell? Like who? And I know OKC doesn't necessarily play with the backup point guard because they have other people that can fulfill those duties and obligations. But when you think backup point guard, it's like, okay, we got AJ Mitchell, who's a pretty good player. And then you got Nikola Topic, who's also a pretty good player. So it's like, are you going to just have two guys that are just that are pretty good players, just not play at all?
I think
They just
Topic is gonna-
extended AJ. So
and not only that, to your point, Mars, I think Topic is going to draw more attention in terms of, because Penn always brings this up, how the Oklahoma City Thunder just stockpile draft picks. I think you can get way more for Topic than you would be for Mitchell. If you had decided that you were going to move on from one of them, if Mitchell fit your system and what you guys were doing, it worked more. Even though there's nobody on the roster like Topic,
Mm-hmm.
he needs to be let loose, for lack of a better term. And because I don't think he's ever going to be let loose in Oklahoma City. As long as guys like Shea are there, I don't think he's ever going to be turned loose. I think Mitchell, in terms of a role guy, I think even though they're all role players, but I think that he fits the role and mold of Oklahoma City more than I feel like Topic should be running the unit. And I think that he would garner more if you moved off of him than Mitchell.
They drafted him for a reason, though.
Is that such a bad thing, Chill?
Turn your mic up, Ox. We can't hear you.
Okay, 1 second.
No problem. But
You
it
said
is to your
not
point.
such a bad thing.
No,
That's
it's not. In the words of Marlo Stansfield, that's one of them good problems. 100%.
Well, even for him though, not even that's like I understand for him if we're trying to get into some legacy talks, if we're trying to be one of the best this of all times or that of all times, right? But for their team and them, looks like they're on the verge of putting together a dynasty. In order to put together a dynasty, I believe you need somebody that's overqualified for their position. You know what I'm saying? Like a Manu Ginobili type. And I'm not saying he's that good. I don't know. But a guy that, I could be over here being a lead guard for a pretty decent team. You know what I'm saying? Or I could be here overqualified for my position, maybe playing a little less than I expect to play.
Sure.
And make this team that much better to where in the next 10 years, we never miss the playoffs. In the next 15 years, we never miss the playoffs. We come off with 3 or 4 championships. You know what I'm saying? So I don't subscribe to everybody's going to be perfect at their position. Everybody's not going to have any faults in their game. So I'm like, he might be too good to back up somebody, but he's that good. And now we got a dynasty on our hands. We got guys coming off the bench that should be starting for other teams. I think that, to your point, Chair, that's one of those good problems, but it's really not a problem at all. Like now we're just that much better than everybody.
And it's also not only a good problem, but it's a two-way street. So Ginobili had to buy into that this is what I'm going to do here, as opposed to, I should be starting somewhere else. I could have my own team where I'm the man on that team. And I don't think that Ginobili was wasted in any capacity in San Antonio. In fact, I think he was maximized. I think they got everything that they could have possibly gotten out of him. The thing I'm worried about in Oklahoma City with Topic being as young as he is, the thing I'm thinking about with him is, will Oklahoma City, because you got the league MVP that I'm playing behind, will I get everything that I can possibly get out of Topic? Could I put Topic at the league guard and move Shea to maybe, which is his natural position, the 2? Could I do that? Is that possible? Which I'm all for that, if that means him having the ball. But Shea needs the ball too. And I think Topic needs the ball in a different way. Topic doesn't need the ball where he's got to score. Topic needs the ball because he's going to make everybody better. And to your point, Ox, I think that I would have to buy it. We got to get the guy to buy into it too. And I think that takes a lot.
Of course.
Joe,
you definitely got to buy it. My bad.
Joe, I love that. I love when y'all glaze the Euros, right? It's great. It's awesome. It's awesome, especially when that European player ends up coming from Serbia. I love it. Can we let him play a game first? But we're talking about moving, Lou Dort or someone to the bench. These are NBA champions. They do not need him to come in, and he is not ready, in my opinion. Humble opinion. I watched him a lot. My sister is close with people from his family. I've been watching this kid. They've been talking about him since he was 15, 16 years old.
Mhm.
It's a good thing that he comes from, number one, a country and a European system that does not necessarily, it's not an exhibition-based system like, AAU, where it's you're the star, you're the star, you're the star. No, you're part of the team. You're part of the team, right?
Sure.
So he's going to buy in perfectly. I don't think you need to worry about him cribbing about coming off the bench for the next 2, 3 years, 4 years. If he emerges into a star, maybe we can talk about him starting, right? But right now, there's a lot of issues in his game that I saw yesterday. I saw his jumper get blocked by Janai Broom with like 6 feet of space. That tells me you slow. Okay. I watched this guy in an open gym shooting brick after brick after brick from the corner. And it wasn't like, a little bit off. It was wide right, wide left. Tells me your shooting mechanics need a lot of work. And this was an issue with him back in Europe too. Super streaky. Defensively in space, he is going to get annihilated. He is not strong. He is not a good lateral mover. And if I'm OKC right now, I got a championship to protect. I don't care about your development to that level. I'll give you some time with the OKC G League team right now if you need to get some on-ball reps. I cannot have you on the court if you cannot space the court for Shea.
I'm comfortable with that. I am. I'm comfortable with him playing. I'm comfortable with him playing in the G League. But if I just don't want to, I don't want to waste any time with him. And the reason why I say that is because to your point when you said, can we see him play a game first? Well, summer league may not be a lot for other people. I look for transition. That's what I look for. When I say transition, I look for what can we use this moving forward? And when I see him, the past first league guard that he is, his awareness, how he takes care of the ball, I'm like, okay, that's going to translate to the next level. Same thing with VJ Escom. When I watch VJ Escom, like a lot of people will say, like the next Dwayne Wade. I don't think about it like that. I think that the iteration of that, like Victor Oladipo, like the next type of guard. That's what I'm looking at. When I watch Topic, I'm looking at a guard who looks like he's the next iteration of the next best distributor in the game.
Who does he remind you of, Cho?
I couldn't put my finger on it yet.
European point guards.
No, it's not. Not that dude. No, let's.
His thing
no,
is,
I wasn't thinking about that.
What kind of differentiates him a little bit? And I know we do have bigger European point guards, like Luka's obviously 6'7", but it's the fact that he's how tall, and I know his arms aren't necessarily long, but his legs are long. Like he's a taller point guard.
His legs are short.
He's 6'6", Pin.
But his legs are short.
His more upper torso. So it's more upper torso than it is.
However, he's a 6'6" point guard. So like it's just he seems a little different. I'm trying to put my finger on it too.
He's shifty.
He's a taller in that too. He's tall, he's shifty. And he just, I don't know, he got something to him that I can't quite put my finger on yet. But I like it though. And to Pin's point, we got to watch him play more. Because we don't know. It's been 2 games. But I've liked the savviness that I've seen in 2 games.
I like that G League thing. And the reason, even though I think he would kill in the G League, but I do like that off the strength of him getting reps. I don't want him just sitting down and not doing anything. I don't want that. No. I want him. I want him playing. I want him playing enough where 1, he's getting reps and his confidence doesn't wane, and then 2, he's the know-how to be on the floor, not just with those guys in the G League, but when I get up to the next level, I'm prepared. Because it's not like I'm just playing G League games. They are preparing him for the next level. So I just don't want him. I do like that idea. And I don't think teams use the G League nearly as much as they should, especially with young guys like Topic. Immediately when you hear a guy like Topic is in the G League, oh, he sucks. No, he doesn't. That's not it at all. Same thing with Shepard. Mars and I had this conversation. Shepard is in the G League. Oh, he sucks. No, he doesn't. There just was no run for him in Houston at that particular point. Not to mention he wasn't able to knock down a shot consistently, but he did need to get some reps. That doesn't mean that he sucks.
You need to establish angles against bigger, faster competition, right? And again, I had him number 2 at times on my board last year behind Steph Castle, and at times also behind Matas Buzelis. And part of the reason I was so high on him was he's really tough. Like he attacks, he invites contact, processes games super well, right? He's very physical. I like physical guards. I like guards who like dive into contact over and over and over again. But Mars is right. Defensively, he has issues. He is going to have major issues with upper body strength, even finishing the way he was finishing Europe, sorry, that ain't what you meeting at the rim in the NBA. So I think you're gonna have to be a little bit more patient with him. This is not Josh Giddey year 3, year 4. You do not just replace one for one. He is legit 19 years old. So I think in a couple of years, I think you will see a player who hopefully makes it, in my opinion. But I'm not as high as you are.
I wanted to ask you that. I don't know if you answered already. Sorry if you did. Today, or maybe obviously not today, but do you see Topic being much better than Josh, or
No.
is it even comparable today? Not today. I'm saying, is it even comparable today? And in the near future, do you see him being better than Josh? Because I like Josh. I always have. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just curious to see how
at 19. Where was it? Is it a conversation?
Just last year, like 2 years ago, he was 19.
Josh was cold, bro. Josh was cold.
Ice cold, Ox. Ice cold.
Still is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, Josh.
Who would you rather have for the Raptors at 19?
Or just as a player?
I mean, I have to acknowledge so many biases here. I wanted him on the Raptors last year before they gave up their pick to San Antonio. So, I mean, again, super biased. Got things against Josh Giddey. I got things for Nikola Topic. I'm not the right person to answer this. That being said,
okay.
They're very different players. I know people are going to compare them because they're both, foreign white guys who pass the ball at 6'6", but they're very different players, and the only thing that really unites them other than that is neither one of them can shoot. That's a problem. If I'm building an offense around you, I really don't care that you can't shoot that much, like Russell Westbrook, Ben Simmons. But look at how those two players have aged as role players. You're not coming into the Brooklyn Nets where we just give you the ball and you just do whatever the hell you want and go lose, 60 games. You want a championship contender. You have to be able to space the floor. Josh Giddey's not a bad player. Alex Caruso is a better player for a championship team, though, right?
Yes,
because he can do the other stuff.
Sure.
It's only one ball, guys.
In light of you bringing up Alex Caruso, and in light of Ox saying that this team is well established for a dynasty, I do just want to throw this out there because I can't resist. I have to. Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins, Alex Caruso, Nikola Topic, AJ Mitchell. What do those guys all have in common?
They're going to be NBA champions next year.
They play for the Thunder.
They come off the Thunder's bench and they're all young.
Yep.
You just add Nikola Topic into that.
You said Caruso, but
you're not Usman Jang. You're not Usman Jang FC.
I can say Case and Wallace. Well, I was just mentioning the guards, but I can say Case and Wallace. Then either way, Case and Wallace or Alex Caruso. However, this team has a treasure of assets coming off the bench, and they just got stronger with getting this kid off his ACL injury.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're so set up.
That's the other thing I'm worried about.
That it's not even funny.
That's the other thing I'm worried about too, Ron. Is he made of glass? Like this ACL injury. I mean, he came back. He looked super sharp, no doubt about that. But I do worry about stuff like that. At this age, he's 19 years old and tore up his knee. Is this kid made of glass, or is this just an anomaly? Is this not something that I should really be worried about? Because we've had young guys get injured and then it wasn't a problem moving forward. Blake Griffin, when he had the microfracture surgery on his knee, I think it was his rookie season, and then we didn't have this problem moving forward. So, but I feel like it's a legit concern. But I mean, Oklahoma City has more than enough assets to, finagle if they need to make a trade and continue to get better, right? But with that being said, they could just hold on to everything they got and just continue to build.
They got 3 firsts coming up next year.
Yep.
Potentially, if Utah is decent, which they won't be. So it's 2 firsts, but still.
Hold up though, because we'll get into Utah in a second because they had a summer league game last night against Memphis. I think that was a great game. We'll talk about them. Salute to everybody that's in here. Like the video, turn on your notification bells. This is the panel. We are live Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern time. Mm-hmm. But before we move off this topic, Chill, Pimp named Slickback has a question for you. Pimp said, Chill, when you say a team has a lead guard of the future, do you mean a starter on a contender or just a starter in general?
Just a starter in general. I feel like when Topic, for example, I feel like when you have a guy that has that kind of skill set, that has that kind of know-how, that understands the game the way he does. I can build on that, and I can build my unit around that. That's a box that's checked on a team when I'm moving forward. Like, all right, I need this. I need a shooter. I need a bucket getter. I need a lead guard. Okay, I got that. I'm straight. And again, I want to reiterate the point to Penn, because Penn and I were having this conversation. I don't think that Topic is ready to start on the championship or playoff team today. No. I'm not saying that at all. But if I'm building a unit like what's going on in Brooklyn, if I'm building a unit and I need a lead guard, and to your point, a guy like Jody Fernandez, who's a great coach and a great teacher, I would love to have that guy teaching Topic how to play lead guard. Now build around that. Go get him another bucket getter. Go get him a big man. Go get him some dirty work guys. And this is how we build our unit. That's why I keep saying to Mars, give me the kid, because
you build your team around him.
Around
Nikola Topic.
He looks like that kind of guy that I can build my unit around him. Yes.
So we've got the Spurs building around Wemby. We've got the Magic building around Paolo and Franz. We've got OKC building around Shea.
Yep.
Denver building around Jokic.
Yep.
And you would build around Nikola Topic.
Okay.
If he's the Brooklyn Nets.
Yes.
Different question.
But every team's aspiring, I'd hope, to win at some point, right?
Topic or MPJ, Mars? Who you want to build around?
No. Stay right there where you at, Mars.
Brooklyn don't have their front. Brooklyn are hoping they get AJ or Cam or Darren Peterson next year.
Yep.
That's who they will build around. Right now, they are in tank mode. They don't have the player they are building around for the future. The Utah Jazz think it's Ace Bailey, or they're going for next season to build around someone else. Some teams just don't have a player that they are actually trying to build their unit around today. They're trying to tank for that.
Correct.
Chill is telling me Nikola Topic is the player he would build around. And I'm saying with what these teams are building around, and they're aspiring to win championships, Wemby and San Antonio, etc., Nikola Topic is the player you would build around.
Well, first of all, yeah, 100%, Mars. And the reason why I'm saying this is because when I see Paolo come out of school, Paolo had a lot of flaws in his game, and we've seen him. Today. And here's the difference. The difference with Paolo is we've seen 3 years of Paolo. Now, if you want to rewind 3 years ago, if I said to you, yo, I'm building my team around Paolo Banchero, you'd have thought that I was crazy. Well, if you look at Paolo today,
he was the first overall pick, Joe. It
right.
wouldn't have been that crazy at all.
I saw Paolo's first game against Detroit. You would have told me you're building around him, I would have been like, yeah.
And this kid, and this kid Topic, before he tore up his knee, what are we looking at again? We're looking at a top 5 pick, possibly in the draft.
In a historically,
that's when he apparently had a 7-foot wingspan. But his measurables were capped, and it was a very weak draft. I'm not building around Zachary Shea. He was the number 1 pick. So
you never heard me say anything about Zachary Shea and Topic in the same category. And the reason why is because I don't think that Topic, looking at his game, I don't think that his game is the same as Zachary Shea. I think Zachary Shea is a piece. I think Topic, who has the ball in his hands, as smart as he is, which is necessary for a lead guard, I think that that's very necessary for somebody to build for me to build my unit around. When you compare Topic to Wemby, who's a generational talent, okay, that's something different, sure. When you compare him to Paolo Banchero, who we've seen already 3 years of Paolo Banchero, I think that that's something different. Watching Topic at 19, almost 20 years old, watching this kid and seeing everything that I've seen in the limited amount of time and seeing the potential of what he can be, he looks like the kind of player that I can build my unit around, barring that he's made of glass. Barring that, he looks like the kind of player that I can build my unit around. Yes.
Yeah, we just disagree.
Mars, is there anyone from the last draft that you would actually build a franchise around?
Last year's draft, so that's Tyrese Shea, Alex
Buzelos.
No.
But
the closest I'd get is Alex and I'd say no.
I think we're getting too caught up in, and Chill, you kind of alluded to it by saying Zachary Shea is a piece. We're getting too caught up in building around a guy as opposed to building with a guy.
Yeah, but he said around. That's why we disagree.
I get that, Mars. I get exactly where you're coming from. And I'm on your side with this, Mars. But Chill, you always say, you'll even say that superstars are still role players. All of these guys have a role to play. So with that being said, I don't think you ever build around a guy. I think you more so build with the guy.
So let me rephrase that then, Ron.
They're building with Franz and
they build around Jokic, but
yeah.
But I get what you're saying. Topic can be a piece that you build with. I get what you're saying. If that's what
it's
Chill
like
meant,
even,
then I guess.
But even with let's go to the Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets, yes, they built around Jokic, but they still built with them. Jamal Murray was there from the beginning with him. They built with them too. Added Michael Porter Jr.
These was our two centerpieces. Sure.
So you see what I'm saying? They built with them,
and that's how I feel about Topic.
Like even today, when they add a piece, Jokic is the first thought, but they also factor in how does this guy fit next to Jamal Murray? Does he complement Jamal? Does he help Jamal? Can he relieve Jamal? Just little things like that. So you build with pieces,
and that's how I feel about
building around.
And that's how I feel about Topic. I feel like you build around. It's not a coincidence. Then you tell me that, and I just want to make sure that I'm following the timeline here. I mean, he played in the Euro League, was awesome in the Euro League.
He didn't play in the Euro League.
He played in Serbia.
In Europe.
Went to a team in the Euro League and got hurt in his first game.
And got hurt. Okay, so now he comes to the league, and I'm in the limited amount of time that I've seen him play, and the stuff that I've seen him do. If I got a guy like this who has the awareness that he has, I'm going to take that and I'm going to give him the ball, and then I'm going to put around him guys who complement that, because I think, again, gone are the days of the bomb squads. So I'm going to give him the ball. I'm going to put together a system that's conducive to his game, which is playing fast, getting out in transition, being the distributor that he is. We're going to fix that scoring to the point where I can make. I saw him last night in a pick and pop, in a pick and roll action where he ends up getting. It looked like Luka a little bit, where he got the guy in jail and had him on his hip, and then got in the middle. Yes, and got in the middle of the lane. I'm like, okay, that's the kind of stuff that we can work on. That's the kind of stuff that we could get better at. So if I can do that and put guys around him who, if I get a big guy, a pick and dive big guy where Topic can hold the defense the way he does and get better at that, well, I can get a big guy who's good at pick and pop. That makes Topic's game better, right? So now if I can get a big guy, not a big guy, I'm sorry, I can get a shooter around him who's really good in transition, a good stop and pop guy, or even a guy who's really good on pin downs, one-on-one and stuff like that. This is what I'm building around him. And I'm going to give him the ball, and I want the offense. I want him to be in control of the offense like that, if that makes any sense.
So you're not saying he's the best player on this hypothetical team, right?
What I'm saying is that I got my lead guard. That's all I'm saying.
Okay,
it's like making food. Okay, Mars, I got the steak. Okay, I still need this. I still need that.
And what ingredient is Nikola Topic?
John Stockton, top 3. That's all you need to know. Okay, Chill wants to build through the point guard. That's like he wants to build through the guy who controls the ball, and I totally get that, because last I checked, LeBron James has literally won
it's a
more
logical
games.
thing. If you have the ball the most, you probably want to have guys around him that complement. It's logical.
Very interesting stats. I'm gonna just bring up stats. Okay, LeBron James has literally won more basketball games since 1996. I saw this on Twitter this morning. It blew my mind. He has won more playoff games since 1996 than any
before he was in
before he was in the league. So 7 years before he was in the league, than any single franchise has. He's won more playoff games.
He's won more playoff games than the Spurs.
Yes.
Wow.
Is that shocking?
Now remember, Mars, he was in the NBA championship 9 times in 10 years.
Yeah, so he went. Yeah, but since 96,
right?
Going to the championship means you win 12 times.
Correct.
That's it. You won 12 games.
Mm-hmm.
So LeBron, because he didn't even make the playoffs his first 2 years. So LeBron from 06 to now. So that's a 10-year head start he gave the rest of the league.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And he still won more playoff games. That's interesting.
More
Spurs ain't missed the playoffs.
Does that impact your GOAT ranking a little bit?
No, but that's what I was surprised about with the Spurs. But they also haven't made the playoffs in a couple years. So they've on the back ends But LeBron hasn't made the playoffs every year in the most recent times.
He beat teams that he was on. He helped them
from 2006 to 18-19. So what's that? 13 years.
Yeah.
So almost 14 straight years I made the playoffs and never lost in the first round. So I'm going deep in the playoffs every year. And I'm winning games. Well, that's impressive.
I'll give you the second stat, and this one might be even more mind-blowing than the LeBron one. Okay. Teams that draft Serbian players in the lottery are undefeated that next year in the championship. They have won championships every single time. Darko Milicic, 2003. Nikola Topic, 2024. 2-0, baby. Let's go.
Wait. They're undefeated. Oh, they win the championship.
They win the championship every single time.
I got you.
Ergo,
okay, I got you.
the next team that wants to win a championship, go draft some random Serbian kid in the lottery. You win a championship automatically. And neither one of them really played much. Just want to let y'all know that. You don't need them to play. You just need them to be there.
Yo, that's heat.
That's heat.
All right, y'all. Obviously, you see the title of the show. You know what happened yesterday, but if you don't, let's go ahead and get into it. Paolo Banchero, the kid from Seattle, has signed a rookie extension. 5 years, $287 million with the Orlando Magic. They go all in on Paolo. They traded for Desmond Bane. What's Franz's contract right now?
He's on
a contract for the next 5 years.
224.
Yeah, he just signed an extension last season.
And then Jalen Suggs he signed an extension too, right?
I think he's at like a 150. Yeah,
descending.
Yeah, it starts at like 35 and goes down to like 30 or something, or starts at 30 and goes
20,
down, something like that.
It starts, yeah.
So all the money all the money's on the front end.
It's front loaded to match Franz's backloaded and Paolo's backloaded contracts.
It's a smart contract.
Yeah, definitely. The Magic are set. Well, they have their core four set. How do we feel about
plus
this,
Desmond Bane? Desmond Bane was
oh,
okay. My fault.
Yeah, we still got the Rage Bay title up.
Rage Bay title was just him saying he has
Supermax. Supermax.
He does have Supermax.
How's that Rage Bay though?
It's Rage
inaccurate.
He did not.
Inaccurate, Matt.
It's Rage Bait. It's okay, bro. I'm gonna crash out. Everything's Rage
Bait. Let's get Penn blood pressure down. It's the rookie max. It's not super max. That's the most money he can sign off of his rookie contract. Let's chill out. Same thing happened next season.
Look
with
like
you don't think he'll be all NBA?
I don't know. History tells me he will be all NBA because the media loves giving guys a supermax boost if they can get it. The point here is
he will deserve it though.
Maybe.
I mean, I think Mars and I might disagree with you on that, but
if Paolo Banchero is an all pro, which I think he's going to be an all pro in the future, they're not just going to give it to him because we're in a contract yet. He's going to play to that level, no doubt about it.
In the next 5 years, Paolo doesn't scratch a third team all NBA.
No. You got to do
maybe.
No.
I said maybe.
Ron,
that's not even a maybe.
Ron, before you crash out, it's next year. He has to do it next year to qualify for the Supermax.
Yeah, all I said was
maybe. Do it next year.
Yes.
All I said was maybe. I don't see how.
My bad. I thought he had 5 years to do it. My bad.
Damn. What do you think? It's a charity? It's the NBA.
All I said was maybe.
I'm giving you 5 years. It's 1 year. Do or die.
My bad, Morris. I didn't know it was 1 year. I thought it was an extended period of time.
You're gonna make me angry.
So this is why we have to talk about this.
The thing about it, Penn, is the Orlando Magic are about to go to the Eastern Conference Championship. I don't know if they'll beat the Knicks, but it's going to be Orlando. It's going to be Orlando and the Knickerbockers
in Cleveland
in the Eastern Conference Finals. You know what I mean? So with that being said,
I'm gonna box this.
Orlando is going to be a top 3 seed in the East. They're going to win 50 games. Yeah, they're one of their best 2 players.
Mm-hmm.
They're both going to be all NBA. So
2 of the 15 spots are going to the Magic.
I don't think so.
What?
I don't think so.
What?
I mean, the easy cop out is that both of them were hurt last year, so we could just say they might not play 65.
But Mars, you're telling just hypothetical. Let's get into that, Mars. Let's have a conversation. Let's have a little fun, right?
Okay.
If both of those dudes don't tear their obliques, do you think
that it was the same injury, right?
Right,
yeah, crazy.
I think they must have been doing the same workouts together. You know what I'm saying? Must have been, right?
Solidarity.
Do you think that if both of those guys don't tear their obliques, that one of them doesn't make All NBA the way that they were playing last year?
I think they would have made it.
Both of them
one of them, it would have been Paolo, because the way Paolo started the season, Franz's numbers went crazy when Paolo went out.
Right.
So if we assume that neither one gets hurt, Paolo would have made it. Do I think that's justified? Maybe not. But you averaging 25 on a team that's a top 5 seeds, you're gonna make All NBA. That's kind of just how the cookie crumbles. So yeah, I think if Orlando are what you say they're going to be, 50-win team, top 3 seed, Paolo's averaging 26, which is probably what he's going to average. Paolo will make All NBA next year. I think that's a fair thing to say.
I don't think they're going to give them 2. And also that was influenced by Wemby being out.
It'll be a take.
Pardon?
It won't be a give. It'll be a take. They're not giving him anything. Paolo will be first team All NBA. Franz will be second team All NBA and second team All Defense. This is happening.
Most versatile defender in the league.
This is happening.
So last year the season started 30-11, 33-11, 15-6, 16-7, 50-13, 31-7. That's how we started. Like the first week of the season. That's what we doing.
Right.
I remember that game against Indiana. Oh my god!
And that's
to start the season.
Also, chill. Don't forget, Tatum's gone.
Yep.
Hallie's gone. Dame's gone.
Yep. So that first team All Pro spot. Okay, because it's only one spot. Because Joker's still here, Giannis still here.
Well, Tatum's not there anyway.
Right.
So
Tatum's not there anymore.
Spots. It might be 2 spots.
Right. So it might be 2 open spots. Wow. That is true.
Because Embiid's not going to play 65. So
Joel might not play 65 this year.
He won't play 65.
Okay. Thank you, Mark. He
yeah,
won't play.
So Joker, Giannis, SGA. Those are the 3 spots.
And then if Wemby plays 65, I think he'll get the 4th spot, but we don't know with him as well.
Luka?
And then I would say that
Luka.
There's no spots available. I'm sorry. Yeah, there's no spots available.
Yep.
Okay, go to
I don't know.
Luka just gonna come in and take Tatum's spot. So
I don't know about first team, but I do
Anthony
think
Edwards,
he has second, third team action.
Yo, this is a narrative award. You know that. So number one, the narrative of giving a guy a supermax. I don't know why. If the media fucks with you, they would love to give you a nearly $50 million boost on your contract. That's dope. Or $40 million. So it goes from 239 if he doesn't make it to 287 if he does.
Damn.
That's putting a lot of bread in your pocket. Okay. So
more.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, Joe. So so that number one thing, if the Magic are a 50-win team, they will have 1. It doesn't matter if they deserve 2, 3, 4. It doesn't matter. They'll have 1. If they're a 60-win team, we could talk about 2.
Ox, you just said
Cleveland had 2.
Ox,
right?
you just said 50 wins. I was going to ask you over and under 55 wins next season for the Orlando Magic.
I'm banking on health.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm banking on health.
I'm banking on health. I'm banking on Jalen Suggs and Paolo both being all defense. I mean, not Paolo. I'm sorry, Franz.
Okay.
Relax, Mars.
Franz and Jalen. I'm banking on both of them being all defense. Desmond Bane. I think he's going to add so much to this game. Desmond Bane is so much better than KCP with all due respect to him. You know what I'm saying? With all
and he
due
fits
respect.
better with this crew too.
Right.
2-time NBA champion KCP better.
Yeah, he's. Look, I got big love for him, but I think I think there's a gap with him and Desmond Bane. And the Tyus Jones signing. I think y'all might be sleep on how he shores up that second team.
Snoring. Yep, absolutely.
That's second team. I think he's gonna shore that up a little bit. Chill. This is a 57-win team for sure.
The last time they won 57 games, I think that they lost to the Bulls in the East Finals in '96.
Well, they don't
What did they win the year before?
How many games they win in like
in '95?
2010 and then like with Dwight.
You have to go back. You have to go back and look.
Paolo is weird, man.
59 wins in 09, 59 wins in 2010.
59.
So that era,
he took a big hit, y'all.
I think it's entirely possible. I'm definitely sleeping on Tyus Jones, but I think it's definitely possible they could win a bunch of games. This is a team that was decimated with injuries and were ranked the second best defense in the NBA.
Well, they won the Southeast Division last year, and it was the playing team.
Miami's in that division. Miami and Atlanta.
Atlanta and Charlotte.
Atlanta
I'd hope you win that division, respectfully.
Right. Atlanta got better. Miami just got Norman. So
they did, but I think this is a team that was decimated by injuries and was still able to have the second best defense in the league. And you add Jalen Suggs, one of the best guard defenders in the NBA. You get Franz for the full season, one of the better defenders in the NBA, especially for a player of his like caliber in terms of star power.
Yeah.
That helps the team. Jonathan Isaac, still a really, really good defender. Desmond Bane isn't going to hurt your defense in any capacity. I think he's a solid, good defender. Just on defense alone, I think they could win 50+ games. And then offensively, you need a jump from Franz. Franz has to be able to make jumpers. Like I think that's a fair place to start. He has to be able to shoot the ball. Paolo has areas of his game he can improve on. Desmond Bane, I think, is going to help. Yeah, 57 wins, I think, especially if like they go for it in the regular season, like they are playing for the 1 seed and that type of thing. 57 wins seems reasonable, I think. Well, possible, I'll say, not reasonable, possible.
Yo, right quick, we'll get back to the Magic, but if they want to indeed win 57 games, Franz, Paolo, Jalen Suggs, Jonathan Isaac, Desmond Bain, y'all need Factor Mills, and y'all might win 67. You see, the summer is here, and the season is quickly approaching, Paolo, which means you need more time to do all the things that is going to make your next season special. Franz. And the number one thing that you don't need to be worried about all summer is spending hours inside the kitchen cooking. That's where Factor Meals comes into play, because that Factor has chef crafted, dietitian approved meals that are ready to heat and eat in just 2 minutes, taking the hassle out of the kitchen and freeing you up to do the things that are more important. Factor Meals arrives fresh and ready, perfect for any active and busy lifestyle over the summer and beyond. They have 45 weekly menu options. You can pick gourmet meals that fit your summer goals and gains. Choose from options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, Keto, and much more. Factor powers your day from sunup to sundown. Enjoy the summer. Get Factor if you want to get better. And get all the fuss out of your life. I mean, me and Ox, we eat Factor every day, and I think you should get more like Big Ox. So get started at factormeals.com/playerschoice50off and use playerschoice50 off to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's code playerschoice50 off at factormeals.com/playerschoice50 off for 50% off plus free shipping. Factormeals.com/playerschoice50. Franz, Paolo, Jalen, Desmond, tap in, lock in.
Definitely
so,
get like Ox. Love Factor Mills.
Yeah, I kind of want to go back to the playoffs. Like, obviously, we've seen what we've seen throughout the regular season. Both of those guys had spectacular regular seasons, especially at 22 and 23 years old. Paolo 22, Franz 23. But in the playoffs, remember how they both raised their levels against the Boston Celtics. Paolo damn near averaged almost 30 and 10. It was 29.
Oh, when you said he was playing better than Tatum?
Yeah.
I remember you said that.
But Paolo was averaging 29, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. Franz, 25, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. They both rose their games in the playoffs. Now, if that's an implicator for what's heading into year 23 for Paolo and 28 age-wise, and year 24 for Franz, I could see something similar to that.
Do you care about how your food is made, Ron? Do you
Against
care about
the Boston Celtics, yes.
You
Against
do,
the
right?
Boston Celtics, yes.
Yes, I hear you. So here's the thing.
Don't you, Pin?
Yeah, I do. And that's why I'm going to say this. How did he get the 29 points? It's very... Now, I don't care about that.
Celtics, I care all about that.
Oh, are you gonna say shooting variance?
Oh, damn, it is shooting variance. I do want to say that. This is a 32%. Look, one of these two things is true. Okay. A 32% three-point shooter became a 44% three-point shooter.
So is this just back-to-back years of shooting variance? Because it happened last year.
Okay, hold on. Shit. It's 14 games, yo. It's 13 games.
I remember what you said about Desmond Bain.
But
I remember what you said about Desmond Bain over the last couple postseasons.
He did do that. He did do that.
Paolo Banchero has played 12 playoff games.
Yeah.
He has shot 40% from 3 in both playoff series, 44% this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you are going to be concerned about Desmond Bain and his streak of 28%, you better be saying Paolo Banchero is a 40% three-point shooter in the playoffs. Just for logical consistency.
Hmm?
I don't care. I don't care if you fall off. I mean, I don't care. I'm not going to give you credit for. Wait, what am I trying to say here? I'm a negatively oriented person, so I'm gonna cook you for falling off in the playoffs, but I'm not going to give you any credit for rising. So that's what I'm saying.
What? Pig, no way.
You're supposed to be awesome. If you're the best player, you're supposed to be awesome in the playoffs.
The right answer could have just been it was a small sample size on both sides, and I was probably a bit wrong to overreact to Desmond Bain's shooting percentages over a 10-game sample. That was the right answer. Not if you shoot well from 3 in the playoffs, but you don't do that in the regular season.
Bro,
I'm not gonna praise you. Like that's an insane thing to say.
look,
I'm sorry.
all I'm saying
The right
is,
answer is he was getting busy. That's the right answer for 2 back-to-back years
Look.
at 21 and 22. So
People-
what are we supposed to expect for 23, 24, 25, 26,
efficiency
31?
does go down. Efficiency does go down in the playoffs. Typically,
It does.
defenses gear up. Your numbers should go down a little bit. They shouldn't go down a lot of bit, but they shouldn't go down.
And then when Paolo's numbers go up, they're fake.
Hold on. But all his numbers did not go up, Mr. Mars. Some of his numbers went down. Okay.
Mm.
That
was talking about the
efficiency
scoring, but
inside the
sure.
arc went down. Efficiency for mid-range went down. Around the paint went down. So he becomes a completely different player in the playoffs. So one of these two things is true. Number one, shooting variance. Number two, he's a freaking superstar in the playoffs. He's like an ultimate playoff riser. Cool. I don't know which one of those sides you believe on. Number two, this guy, when I watch him some games, I really do see the seeds of a top 5 player in the league, top 10 player. It really does look that way. I think he's not good on defense, but he's capable. But the numbers tell me that for 3 straight years, the Orlando Magic, actually for 10 straight years, frankly, so this predates Paolo, have been a bottom 5 offense. The numbers also tell me that for 3 straight years of his career in the regular season, this team has been better with him on the bench. So
Now, see, that's where
that's confusing to me.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me.
That's what I'm saying.
Whenever I hear that, you know, the Jokic minutes or the minutes when he's off the floor,
It makes sense. It just doesn't. It doesn't mean
it might not apply to this.
what the
right now.
numbers imply isn't the reality, but it makes sense why the numbers are that way. In some
Why are the
capacities.
numbers that way?
A lot of it's to do with lineup. I think Franz just fits better with the bench units than Paolo does. He's also a way better defender than Paolo.
He's also their best
so
player, but yeah, we know that. Okay.
You ain't
I
gonna
don't
get
think so.
much objection from me.
Franz,
That's, I love Franz, but I'm not here to make that claim or whatever right now. But I just think in terms of the fit of Paolo with the bench unit or Franz with the bench unit, Franz fits better. And then the defensive, there is a fall off when Franz is on the floor. I mean, when Paolo is on the floor without Franz and some of the guys they put around him, and they also put Paolo out there with lineups that aren't as advantageous because they view him as being able to floor raise an offense to a better degree. So he also gets put with the lesser lineups. But I think we all agree the Magic aren't a better team without Paolo.
They
I
are
agree.
not.
I agree with that.
So that's why I say the numbers, what they imply isn't the reality, but you can explain why somewhat the numbers are the way they are. But also some of it is just flaws within Paolo's game, I think,
okay.
that
but-
he needs to figure out.
But when you're talking about superstars, typically it goes the other way, right? So again,
Typically, yeah.
just like his super, just like his superstar.
The Knicks are
playoff
better without
three-point shooting.
Jalen Brunson this year, statistically. But for the most part, yeah.
Well, that's kind of my point. It's like typically when you're talking about Jokic, Shea, etc., it would be very weird to see a situation where their team is better with them on
I
the
think
bench.
in the playoffs, the Thunder were better without Shea. I think.
Let's not talk about that, okay? Because that's not part of my selective bias as to what I want to talk about.
I'm trying to have an objective conversation. If you're trying to
We know.
get the agenda off, then go for it. But I'll just stay quiet.
You save your objectivity for Hoop Talk podcast.
My fault. Go ahead.
This-
I'm
this
not
is
wait,
not-
so
this-
wait a minute,
This
Mars.
is
Really-
not
really-
objective
really-
choice.
Really quickly,
My
Mars.
fault. My fault.
So the limited time that SGA was off the floor, OKC was better with him being off the floor. Is that what
in
I'm
the
understanding?
playoffs, I think
in the
that's the
playoffs,
case.
just
I'll
in the
check.
playoffs.
I don't want to lie to people. I'll check.
Okay, so like people
But I'm pretty
will
sure.
hear that, and the idea will be like they don't need him at all. Even though when they went up against that Memphis team and they blew them out, and I don't think SGA should have came back in that game, to be honest with you, because I don't think they needed him that game. Which happens where you end up jumping on a team, and you might not necessarily need a guy, your main guy, for that specific game. But the idea that Oklahoma City is better without SGA, please don't buy into that. Because
Yeah, of course. That's why I'm saying like what the numbers imply isn't
that's
the
not a fact.
reality.
No.
But in small samples, especially like playoff runs, like it can be wonky. So like I'm not saying compare that to Paolo's 3 years of data. Like obviously with the 3 years of data, there's more to it than Shea's 200 minutes off the court in the playoffs. So samples mean a big thing. But I'm just saying, everyone agrees the Magic aren't better without Paolo.
They are not. No question that they are not. And what I'm trying to make sense of with you guys when it comes to France, what's moving you more with France than with Paolo? Is it the shot selection? Is it the defense? Because
the defense is a huge part of it.
I don't think Paolo is awful defensively, but I also don't think France is Giannis defensively neither. I mean, I don't think
the Giannis I saw this year, I'm gonna stay quiet. But Franz is a hell of a defender.
I think he can. I do think Giannis. I think he competes on the defensive end. Paolo, I mean, to be on that Orlando Magic team with guys like Isaac, right, and Franz and Suggs, I mean, you have to be able to compete. And that's what I'm looking for more than anything, right? I'm looking for him to compete. And I feel like he competes a lot more plays than you guys give him credit for. The thing that I need to see improvement on with Paolo is, one, like you just talked about in the playoffs, the shot selection is different. He gets to the rim more in the playoffs than he does in the regular season, which means that he can get to the stripe because the whistle might be a little bit different in the playoffs. So you see things different in the playoffs. Now, as far as the long ball, okay, he might get crowded at the long ball a little bit more in the playoffs than he would in the regular season. He might get crowded in the mid post and in the mid range. He might get doubled a little bit more. He's looking at different. He's looking at different looks. But to his point, I mean, to his defense, he's a lot more aggressive in the playoffs than he is in the regular season too. I have to say that about Paolo.
Sure, that's such a good sign, though. You know, when it's really time to hoop, this dude gonna be there ready to ball. Same thing with Franz too. Like, I think they got good problems over there. And I also believe, and you know, Ox has alluded to this. I think these two dudes, well, I don't even want to get into the arguing who's better out of them two. They're on the same team.
I agree.
I believe that they are about to go crazy this year. I think like kind of the jump similar that we seen to OKC last year, how they just came and just dominated the league. And it might be 2 years ago more so for these guys.
Okay.
You remember how OKC 2 years ago, how they kind of went from
playing team and then they were the 1 seed the next year
to just smacking
That's
everybody.
what we're about to see with these dudes.
I think we're gonna see that. With
it will
Magic
take a
this
long.
year. I think
They don't have a Shea. I think we can agree on that.
Wait. What do you mean? What do you mean?
No,
by
they
that?
don't.
What do you
They-
mean
they-
by that?
they don't have that
No,
cal-
wait. What do you mean by that?
He's
though?
saying, Ron,
A
they don't have
player of that
caliber
caliber,
player.
they don't
have
have
that
a
caliber
Shea
player. They don't.
Gilgeous-Alexander caliber player.
No, they don't.
So
Ron, they don't.
this is-
Ron,
this
don't
is
do
all-
this, Ron. Don't go
no,
down this
hold
road,
on.
Ron.
This is all I
They
want to
don't
say.
have
I'm
a
not
top
about to
five
go
player over
crazy.
there,
They do it
Ron.
by
I'm
committee.
listening. I'm listening.
I'm not
listening.
saying they have a top 5 player. I'm not saying Paolo is as good offensively as Shea. However, I believe this year Paolo establishes his dominance offensively. I believe, and this is not in comparison to Shea. Please just get Shea out your mind while I'm making this statement.
Please.
I believe he establishes himself as a top 10, 15 offensive player in the league where I might beat 30 per night. He averaged 26 last year. It's not crazy to say he averages anywhere from 26 to 30 this year. That right there, he establishes himself as a number 1 option. I'm slaughtering the league. Now,
Ron, keep it real, bro. Some people would rather deal with Shea than deal with Paolo. Now, that's not saying he's better than Shea. I would never say that. I would never say that unless I believe it.
I think a lot of people would rather deal with Shea than Paolo. When Paolo's locked in, when he's like, I'm just killing you.
When Paolo realizes
crazy
he's
to
6'10", 250, like, yeah, no one would want to guard that. It's like when people say they don't want to guard Melo. I'm not saying Paolo is Melo. But like at some point, the physical size and dominance of someone does play a factor into who you'd rather guard.
Mars,
But
there's
they
no
don't
reason,
have
Mars.
a shade. That's
He's a
Mars,
44%
no
three-point
reason
shooter.
for me to believe, Mars, especially after we just broke down this team. We talked about their defense. We talked about them bringing guys back. We talked about their offseason additions. I think Orlando was a great team this year. They were decimated by injuries, and there's no asterisk. No asterisks. I don't believe in passing out asterisks. But there's no reason for us to believe that this Orlando Magic team is not just as good as OKC this year. I have no reason to believe that. No reason whatsoever. None. Franz is better than JDUB.
Well, you never know. Yeah, you never know.
You know what I'm saying?
Like
When you know how I like to do, let's put the best 5 players. Let's put the best 5 players in the game right here. 3 of them dudes are on Orlando.
So if I line up Orlando starting 5, I got Suggs at the
Oh, my
one.
bad. No,
Jalen
my bad.
Suggs is in the
I
top
forgot
5?
about Chet.
Oh, Desmond Bain, my fault.
I'm sorry, I forgot about Chet.
So I got Suggs at the
And
1.
Chet's better than Desmond Bain. I'm
Okay,
sorry. I
I
forgot
was
about
about to
Chet.
say.
I did. So
Yeah.
forget that. But
Is he?
if the let's I don't want to do that because I'm a Chet hater. I don't want to do that. But look, in that top 3 though,
That is better than
top
Desmond
3,
Bain,
it
Ron.
goes,
Yes, he is.
you know what I'm saying? Like
So I got
it goes Shea, it goes Shea.
I got Shea at the 1.
Franz Apollo on his ass, Mars.
So J-Dub's not in that tier 2. Because that's been a conversation that's going around. That's why I'm bringing it up.
No, Franz and Paolo are better than J-Dub.
Yeah, because I'm not bringing that up for no reason. I don't know if you guys are on Twitter, but the Paolo versus J-Dub conversation has been very viral.
It shouldn't be. With all the respect to
So
J-Dub,
to you, is Paolo and Franz in the same tier together, and then J-Dub? That's your opinion?
if we're going tier, I want to put some respect on J-Dub. I want to put some respect on J-Dub.
But he's okay. They're not different tier, but he's below them. Like
Yeah.
to you, he's
Yeah.
below those guys. Where do you guys stand?
Yeah, they're better than J-Dub, bro, for sure.
So as an all-pro
And
and all-league defender,
Bane, and like I said, Chet's better than Bane, but they do completely different things. And Desmond Bane he's cold, bro. I like Desmond Bane a lot. This team, their defense, like Orlando's defense is there. Orlando's defense
Elite
is
defense,
there.
yeah.
They could put the ball in the basket as well. Oh, Orlando. I have no reason to believe that they're not better than that. They're not just as good as OKC. And I know they just won a championship, and I want to put respect on that championship. They are the defending champs, but I have no reason to believe that a healthy Orlando team won't knock them off in the finals. No reason whatsoever.
you do have reason, Ox, and the reason why here's why you have reason, Ox. That Orlando Magic team, barring injury, they're not nearly as connected as that Oklahoma City team, 1 through 8, 1 through 9. Why are you looking at me like I'm crazy? Let's just say, for the sake of argument,
Did you not see what Orlando was doing last year?
I did see what Orlando. Did you not see that this team almost won 70 games? Are you serious right now, Ox? Did you not see that they had the league leading scorer? Did you not see that they had almost 3 guys make the all-league defensive team? This unit, Ox.
And Orlando's gonna have the same. Orlando got defenders too. Franz and Jalen Suggs are gonna be all defensive this year. And don't forget that got Jonathan Isaac off the bench.
Okay, so he
won't be all defense because he doesn't play enough minutes, but he's definitely of that caliber.
He doesn't play enough minutes.
Defense.
Okay,
and I see you in the chat saying Orlando can't shoot. Desmond Bane is going to be knocking shit down all season. 100. He's way better than KFC. Let's not.
Plus internal development, Franz will shoot the ball this year.
I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that.
Why not? Say it, Mars. That means that's the idea.
Franz could shoot it as a rookie, and then he changed his jumper. Like
that's
he's
the idea.
Gonna get back to where he gonna get back.
But the idea of this Orlando team, as good as they are, with the starting 5 of Suggs, Desmond Bane, Paolo, Franz, and Wendell Carter. That's your 5 right there.
And then you need a new big.
Yeah, that's your 5 right there, right? Going up against Oklahoma City, who's got 8-9 guys that are all connected, who's on defense elite. Not only are they elite defensively, there aren't really many holes. Like Shea is the guy we're going after defensively. That's what we're looking for. Wendell Carter, on the other hand, I mean, I think Hartenstein can handle him. And I look at Oklahoma City's front line. I still don't understand why Jalen Williams didn't play more in the finals, even though he did play in the rest of the playoffs. I don't understand why he didn't play more in the finals, because when he went to that triple big lineup when he played against Denver, it worked. And it worked mightily. With that being said, this Oklahoma City team, they got 9, 10, even 11 guys at some point. This Orlando team, who hasn't really proven that going into the playoffs or going deep into the playoffs that they could be viable, I think this Oklahoma City team mops them dudes. I don't think that they beat them. I think they mopped them dudes. 5 games tops.
The
Smoke them dudes.
The difference between
both games, there's going to be 92 to 88. That's what
I think. Wait, what'd you say, Mars?
Neither team scoring on each other's defense is what I was saying.
Okay. Or maybe I just love Orlando. See, that's the thing. Just because I like, and
that's fine.
I don't really drink soda, but just because I like Pepsi don't mean I hate Coke. You know what I'm saying? Let's not do that. But what I am saying, Chills, I think sometimes, see, I think you base it more off of what's already happened. Like, OKC was this good last year, but I don't think you're taking into account that teams. A lot changes over the summertime. A lot changes just by simple moves being made,
and young dudes getting a year older,
and hurt guys getting healthy. That's all I'm saying. Yep. And I think we need to acknowledge the fact that Orlando got exponentially better.
Sure,
they got exponentially better just by getting healthy and making additions. Sure. You know what I'm saying? So they did 2 things. They made off-season additions. And their hurt guys are getting healthy. Mo Wagner, he can play this year.
Sure,
you know what I'm saying. And I just think that matters. And it's not.
We ain't even brought up Anthony Black yet.
Who I
love. That's why Tyus Jones.
Don't forget they finally got Cole Anthony out the way. They got Markelle Fultz out the way. I tried to tell y'all. I tried to tell y'all. Them dudes are bums. I tried to tell y'all.
Man, Markelle was nice for the Kings. What are you doing?
Oh my
God. But before we get to this crunch time chat segment, still, the only thing I want to say to you is they played very good against the Celtics. They lost in 5, and the Celtics for the most part handled them. Yep. But I'm saying, chill. How different does that series look if you insert a healthy Mo Wagner, a healthy Jalen Suggs, and then you drop Desmond Bane on that team.
They win one more game.
This is the team that you believe would have won the NBA Finals. The Celtics team that you believe we're going to go back to back.
Sure.
I'm just saying if they, and I know that's not obviously the end all be all, or if they could take the Celtics to 7, that means that they beat the Thunder. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that team looks a little different and that series looks completely different as well.
And I'm not going to argue that point, Ron. What I am going to argue to what Ox was just talking about, the very thing that you loving about this Oklahoma City team. I'm sorry, about this Orlando team in terms of health.
I love OKC too. I saw them big love.
That's exactly because what we get wrapped up in a lot of times, especially in free agency, we get wrapped up in teams making moves in free agency and not thinking about like JDUB's going to be better next year. JDUB ain't going to be the same player that he was last season.
I don't know that.
Chet's not going to be the same player that he was last. Of course, you don't know that. But it's interesting that you know that Franz is going to be better next year.
I didn't say that either. No, Mars said, is he going to be a better shooter? I said, I can't say that. I don't know.
So then, Ox, if he's coming back the same player that he was last year,
better than JDUB.
Still better than JDUB, who I think is coming back better because he wasn't the same player that he was last year that he was the year before that or his rookie season. He's a better player. And
Chill, can I just explain real quick? I just want to make sure that I don't get misconstrued. I never mentioned player development in any of this because I can never say who's going to get better, who's going to get worse. All I talked about is getting healthy and making additions. That's it. Yep. So by getting healthy and making additions, that's all. I already thought Franz was better than JDUB. Yep. So if they come back the same, I still think he's better than JDUB. That's all.
And to your point, again, to counter that, Ox, you've said to me countless times, in a year, things change. Not in a year, in 6 months, things change. Not just in 6 months. A month, things change, right? In 6 days, things change. So by next year, you don't think JDUB is better than Franz. You don't think JDUB is better than Paolo. What happens if JDUB comes back next year and he's sharper than what he was last year, which makes this Oklahoma City team even better? What happens when SGA comes back and he's added a different aspect to his game, which he didn't have last year, which makes him better? What happens if Chet puts on 10 extra pounds and he's jumping higher and he's better around the rim and a better rebounder? These are the things that I'm thinking about when I think about units in terms of getting better. I'm not just thinking about adding Giannis to the crew or adding Jimmy Butler to the crew. I'm thinking about I already, Ron, got the ingredients in the refrigerator. Cook it. Make it better. And when I think about this Orlando team, sure, they have everything necessary to win, right? They have everything necessary to win in the future. This Oklahoma City team, what they have, and then that getting enhanced, and I ain't talking about adding anything. I'm talking about those guys getting better, makes them even more viable.
Yeah. If that all happens, chill, then I'm wrong. Simple.
All right, y'all. We got to get into these crunch time chats. Salute to everybody that's watching the show right now. Salute to everybody that's sent through super chats. Make sure you turn on your notification bells, subscribe, and become a member on top of all of that. All right. Shout out to Grumsy. Grumsy became a YouTube member, following Grumsy's footsteps. A pimp named Slickback sent through another super chat and said, as a Brooklyn Nets fan, I would absolutely crash out if we were building around Topic. He can be a contributor. We build around a boozer or AJ DeBanza.
You basically are building on Topic. His name's Diego Demon.
Can't wait to see him in the summer league.
Let's not do that.
Shout out Yegor, man. Teddy Hart sent through a $20 super chat and said, me as a Thunder fan, and Chill might be high on Topic and Mars is low on him, but the truth may lie somewhere in the middle. I think he'll be anywhere from good to very good. Maybe not great, but definitely not cheeks either. OKC has the best development team too.
All I said was you don't build your franchise around. That's me low on him.
I think sounds low to me.
Just because you don't think that you should build your unit around him doesn't mean that you low on him. No, that doesn't mean that.
I don't know how I don't get how you can interpret what I said as I'm low on him. I just said he has strengths and he has weaknesses, and he's probably not going to reach his potential in OKC.
Yeah, you were talking. That's where I'm at. I can see it.
That's it. That's where I'm at.
I guess.
Yeah, but hey, Jalen Green at this moment in time, Michael Jordan, crazy. All right.
Who dropped him?
Let's keep going with the super chats. Field Boy 770 7 said, chill. If you are this high on Topic, what do you think about AJ Mitchell, who was playing for OKC since game 1 before he got injured?
I like him too. Yes. But I think that Topic is a different player and there's a different way he plays basketball that I think is more conducive to, one, building my unit around, and 2, being successful. I think that, and I like AJ Mitchell. I just think he's a piece to what we're trying to do. I feel like Topic is a very important piece to what we're trying to, especially if it's like a quarterback. Like I got my quarterback. All right, now I need a wide receiver. Now I got to build the defense, but I got my quarterback. And that's how I feel about Topic. I got my quarterback. Just so you guys know, and I said this to you before, Ox, Peyton Manning threw 29 interceptions as a rookie. Just put that out there. That's still a rookie record to this day, by the way. There's a statue of him outside the arena in Indianapolis. Just so you guys know.
Mars, just so you know, Peyton Manning is the best quarterback ever. The GOAT.
Oh, okay.
Just so you know.
And
he threw 29 interceptions as a rookie. And he had Marvin Harrison.
Talk about Eli, Ron. Just keep moving, bro.
And if you really want to know who's the best Manning, I wasn't even going to bring that up, but thank you, Ox. If you really want to know who's the best Manning, or just overall who's the best quarterback, or overall who's going to throw the most the most interceptions as a rookie this year, you got to tap into the press box. Coming July 20th, the best, maybe second, maybe third show on the platform is coming back. Y'all be sure to pull up, mark your calendars, turn on your notification bells, because I promise you, this iteration of the press box, you ain't going to want to miss it.
Ron,
all right, we got another. What's
real
up?
quick, Ron. Are you feeling your younger brother taking up for you? Because your younger brother ended up whooping on the dude who whooped on you. You feeling that? Because I'm feeling that.
Yeah.
I'm 100% feeling that. Yes. My little brother took up for me. All right. That's what's up.
Twice.
Mm-hmm. Not once. Twice he did. Mm-hmm.
Shout out Eli, man.
Mm-hmm.
EB Sports Talk said, so now the Magic are ready? But OKC wasn't ready to you last year when they was number 1 in the West. 2 years in a row, and OKC got better as well with more experience, and the JDUB disrespect is crazy. Chill and Ox, I think that's directed towards y'all.
That's JDUB. That's not disrespect to JDUB to say that I think somebody's better than him. Franz is an incredible basketball player. Plus, how long is this Orlando Magic team been building? This is year what for Paolo? Year 4?
Year 4.
He's going into
Well, Franz got there first. Franz going into year 5.
Yeah,
Paolo's
right.
going into year 4.
So I'm saying, like, they got some vets on the team. I think this team is a little further along as far as years played.
They get Jalen Suggs and Franz. They get Jalen Suggs and Franz the same year.
Yes, 2021. Suggs was number 5. Franz was number 8. JDUB was picked in the next draft, though.
With that,
JDUB was 2022.
That's a whole nother year.
So was Chet.
But my other point too is it's all, you know what I'm saying. It's you got to put it in the context though. Look at where OKC in the West this past season, right? In the competition they had. That's where my mind is. I'm thinking about a younger team against these guys. And now we're looking at this Orlando Magic team in the East, a East that's been decimated by injury, a wide open East. So it's not like me making those statements aren't the same thing. We got to look at the whole picture. I'm not hating on OKC. In fact, I just said that this team was on the verge of becoming a dynasty. I showed them nothing but love. I can still say that I think another team is ready and can compete and maybe beat them without you thinking it's hate.
Are there 25 players in the game today, July of 2025? Are there 25 players in the game today better than JDUB?
Nope.
Shit.
Nope.
I refuse to believe any of you guys have a top 25 list. So
I don't have it. I don't have. That's why I'm asking the question. I can think of some names, but I'm thinking right now.
We're supposed to be doing that right now.
I'm thinking about some names
coming this week.
In July of 25, are there 25 players in the game better than JDUB?
No,
that's what I'm thinking about right now.
Well, Pin, is JDUB the best? How many teams is JDUB the best player on?
A lot.
Like a
lot. How many teams is a lot?
More than 10? A lot?
No, not more.
Is he the best
10.
player in Cleveland?
No.
Boston.
Right now, yes. Right now,
Tatum still exists.
Tatum
still exists.
Is he better than Jalen?
He's
better than Jalen Brown?
He's the best Jalen in Boston.
Okay, we don't got time for Jalen Brown hate section. Just keep going. Next team.
Oh,
okay.
Hey, but hold on. Wait. Let's.
You're gonna waste 20 minutes hating on Jalen Brown. We don't got time.
No, we're not doing that.
I wasted 20 seconds.
Let's also establish something too. I don't like. He needs to be the clear-cut best player. Where when we see him on that team, we know he's the best player. It can't be on some.
Is he better than Is he better than Jaylen Brown? Yes or no?
Him and Jaylen Brown? No. Jaylen Brown can be the better player on that team.
But he's asking Penn. Penn said yes.
I can't see an avenue where JDUB is though. But like in this scenario, Penn, please say yes to the ones where it's like, yes, JDUB is the best player.
Yes,
and we don't.
I think he thinks he's better than Jaylen Brown like that.
Oh, okay, that's cool. I'm saying in for the rest of them, though, Penn. I need clear cut. Yes,
he's clear cut better than Jaylen Brown. Okay, what other teams would
the Knicks? Ox.
The Knicks.
The Knicks.
Go ahead, Penn. Say yes, please. I'm begging you. I'm begging you.
He's better than Jalen Brunson.
No, he's not.
Better than Jalen Brunson. He's better than Cat. He ain't even better than OG.
You can say that all you want. All I know is this is a 6'6" dude who was the second best player on a team
6'5".
that could.
That doesn't matter. I want to know.
We boost the heights of the players we like on this panel.
Is he better than Jay? So is he better than Jalen
like
Brunson?
You're 5'11". If I do like you,
he's
7'1".
I don't like Cat. Is he better than Cat?
Penn, is he better than Jalen Brunson?
Yes, he is.
He's better than Cat.
Everyone vote on the poll on Twitter, guys. Everyone vote.
Oh my God! Here we go.
It's a poll going up in YouTube too.
Okay, I understand the argument for Jalen Brunson. I get
it. Don't ask Penn no more.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because I don't want this to turn into that. Because let's not do that. Let's just Indiana.
Hey, but hold up though. Like
right
Penn, you
now,
can still answer.
he's better than Siakam.
Let's all answer though. Let's get. I mean, Penn has his bias, but let's get an objective.
It's not a bias.
Opinion.
No, he has his opinion. He has his opinion.
I got a biased opinion because I like JDUB. But you objective because you a JDUB hater. Okay.
No, here's what I said.
Ron is not a JDUB hater. I know that for sure. Ron.
I said let's get everybody's opinion so we can get an objective opinion.
Okay.
Hey, Penn, I got biases. If we did this with Hali or Trey Young, my bad. A collective.
Sky's blue, Ron.
But better than Jalen Brunson, though. Come on, man.
It's actually purple.
Basketball played on two ends, you know.
Yeah, Penn, but even in so then he's better than SGA. Then
he's better than Luka.
Is JDUB better than Scotty Barnes?
Yeah, I'm not. I refuse. I plead the fifth on that one
man.
because I'm gonna say Scotty Barnes. I don't give
so Scotty Barnes is better than Jalen Brunson. Scotty Barnes is better than Jalen Brunson.
So let's don't devolve into this. You know where me and Scotty are. That take always goes. You probably get me commit on record that Scotty Barnes is better than Michael Jordan. Just don't even go there.
So Ron,
keep going through the league. Keep going through the league.
Indiana.
Right now, he's better than Siakam. Yeah. And Tyrese Halliburton is coming off an off an Achilles injury.
Okay, so don't count any hurt players. Don't count any hurt
players.
He's
not better than Giannis.
Joel, man.
He's not better than Giannis. No.
He's not better than Giannis. Is he better than Cade?
No.
Yes. No.
Why'd you skip Donovan Mitchell?
I don't know.
We already talked.
Honestly,
Cleveland was number one.
Cade had a great season. Cade had a great season.
No, he didn't.
Cade did have a great season.
No. We're talking. You said that JDUB was better than Donovan Mitchell, right?
No, we didn't.
I do not think he's better than Donovan Mitchell.
All right, just making sure.
We just said Cleveland, and we all said no, he wouldn't be the best player on Cleveland.
Yeah.
I thought that was Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley. I didn't know it was just Donovan Mitchell.
Is JDUB better than Evan Mobley?
No.
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
I like him over Evan personally.
I mean, that's I'm not gonna argue.
So Detroit, is he the best player on that Detroit team?
It's close, man. I'll be considering them a dynamic duo, straight up. Like it'd be like, okay, this dude is giving me way more on defense. This dude is giving me way more in terms of creation. But we have not seen this dude play against the Eastern Conference. He's been playing in Stack West. He's been playing crazy ass defense. So last I checked, most first options don't be burning themselves out.
So you
on
think
offense,
Cade
right?
is better than Jalen Brunson?
Thank you, Morris.
Ron, you said that Cade was better than Jalen Brunson when we saw.
Ron did say it, but I passionately
they're very close.
I just want to know if he agrees. And hold on, wait. I said that, and then I didn't necessarily walk it back, but I just rearranged my,
I don't know who y'all think. I don't know who y'all think Jalen Brunson is. I think he's
better than Jalen Williams. I don't know.
Okay, cool. I think he's great. The offense is built around him. Doesn't play a lick of defense. He's not very good on that end. It costs him a lot. They got to hide him all the time. He does not participate very well. So my view on this is
participates, but okay.
I mean he does not participate very well. He is clearly the worst defender on the roster.
Didn't he lead the league in charges this season?
Okay.
I don't
Would-
think he
would-
led the
would
league.
Jada-
I think that might have been
would
some
Jay-
money, but he got a lot.
Would JDUB and Brunson be a dynamic duo? Because you paused with Cade and you said, one guy's giving me more on offense, the other guy's giving me more on defense, which would be the same case with.
Well, Cade
with
showed
Brunson
me
and-
something on defense in the playoffs, Ron. Like
He's
Cade was
better on
really doing a
defense. No,
great job on defense. Plus he's 6'6".
No, he's
That
better
matters
than
to
Brunson
me.
on defense. But you specifically said one guy's giving me a lot on offense, the other guy's giving me more on defense. That would
Yeah.
be the same with Brunson and JDUB.
Yeah, but it's not more. It's everything. JDUB is legitimately a top 5-6 defender in the league, and he's giving you crazy performances like he did with 40+ points. I mean, y'all really think I'm crazy, but it's not that crazy what I'm saying. It's really not that crazy.
I think it's borderline crazy to say Jada's better than Jalen Brunson, but
I mean, how much do you value versatility, Mars? If I tell you you got a
I value
6'6" guy who
versatility.
can
I
literally
value
guard
6'5".
1 through 5, 1 through
Yeah,
5,
that's
which is
tremendously valuable.
Which is
I just think we'll get down the list, and I think we'll see the consistency of what you're saying get called into question. But we can carry on. I'm perfectly fine with it.
So he's not better than Giannis. We've already established
No.
that. Detroit,
It's
Orlando,
dynamic duo.
Orlando.
Orlando, is he the best player on that team? I don't think so.
No,
Again, you're splitting hairs. These guys are in the same damn territory. Paolo, Franz, JDUB.
Okay,
Y'all
so
want
like
y'all
anywhere
want to
between
categorize
20
them
and
as
25.
different. Yeah, but y'all
So
categorize
they're
them
all
as
better
different.
than Brunson too.
It's the same thing.
That's the door you
I've-
opened up, Penn, when you did that. That's the door that you opened up. When you said that.
I'm
he's
So
always-
better than
Jalen Brunson would be the Magic's third best
Yes,
player.
that's the door that you opened up. That's
Mm.
Penn. That's the door
Yeah.
you opened up when you
And
did
Ben,
that.
you could close it right now and just say,
Yes.
I
We-
just
we-
say I
we-
fucked up.
Yes, we can get
Just
off.
say
that.
my bad.
You
I
don't have to stay
apologize.
on that. We can get off
I
that.
stand 10 toes down. Like
Okay,
I'm
so that
I'm
means
letting
that-
you know that you talking about
So that
30.
means that the
You hold on.
offense
You
that
talking
we
about
running
3rd
in
and 4th year
Orlando,
players
just so you know, Ox.
against
the
an
offense that we
undersized
running-
guard who's damn near 30.
Okay, so the offense that we running in Orlando, Ox,
How-
just so you
what's
know.
how
What does
old
age
they-
have to do with anything, Pin? We're talking about today. We're not
Regression.
Today, right? So
Yeah,
today,
regression.
in July of 2025, if we running the offense in Orlando, Jalen Brunson is our third guy. That's what we're doing.
Wait, chill real quick. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. Pin,
Yes.
we're not talking about who's going to be better in the future or who's better to build
Yeah,
a franchise around.
we're-
We're just talking about who's better on today, July 8th. That's all.
I'm talking about how players progress and regress throughout their careers. And last I checked, most undersized
We all had
guards.
the same
Yes.
conversation, please?
Okay, Ox, we are gauging who's better today. Last I checked, you didn't watch Jalen Brunson play basketball today, did you? No. I've been watching this guy get ground. I've been watching him get. I'm watching him get ground into the dirt for 42 minutes a night playing. Look, man, we've seen Tom Thibodeau. We've seen what happens to these players. Okay, so coming out next year,
Mike Brown is the coach now, not Tom Thibodeau.
okay,
But he's saying he's had enough time with Thibodeau that he's gonna regress.
I'm saying
Man.
this dude has
Man, this
been
is kinda
working himself.
nasty.
It's
Yeah,
not
let's
that
talk
nasty.
about something else, bro. We're never going to get through this segment.
Hey, we-
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Is he the best player on that Atlanta team?
Team 6.
Atlanta team.
4 teams left.
Is he the best team on that Atlanta? Is he the best player on
I
that
would
Atlanta
build
team?
around him. Yeah, I would.
Not the question.
Is he the
He's
best player on that Atlanta
politicking
team?
crazy right now.
Yes.
Yeah, because Trae Young don't play lick of defense either. There you go.
So he's better than Luka.
No,
We're gonna get.
you
I'm
get
trying
there?
to tell you, the logical consistency will get called into question.
Keep
Keep going, chill. Keep going.
We're
chill.
gonna get the logical
going, Chill.
consistency will get called into question.
Is he the
but we
best
can
player on the
carry
Bulls?
yes, clearly.
He had to ask more. It's like he had to.
I'm with that. I'm with that.
We're going
I
down
agree with that, Pin.
in Miami.
Hey,
is he-
but Penn, Matas is only 21.
I don't care.
how about Miami?
Oh, now you don't care about it.
Miami.
Yes. I think he's better than Tyler Hero.
It's not
Good
Tyler
thing
Hero
that- yeah,
that we
good thing that's not the one
put
we
in
worried
question.
about,
I'm
yeah.
thinking about Bam.
Yeah.
Man, respect Tyler, man.
I do
No, I respect Tyler.
Hero.
He
I
not in
do.
these talks. I respect
I-
Tyler.
better
Yeah,
than Tyler.
I'll give him the edge over Bam.
Yeah, I think
And-
I
and
think
Norman
that was
Powell.
easy.
In Toronto.
Yeah, we're not talking about Toronto.
Yes, we are
No,
talking
we
about
are.
Toronto.
Yeah, we are.
They in the NBA.
You better
so-
answer. You better answer this damn
Yes,
question.
Keep Scotty out of it. Talk about
I know
BI.
one thing.
Keep
I know one
Scotty
thing.
out
You
of
gonna
it.
answer this question?
Yeah, he is better than Brandon Ingram for sure.
Okay.
There's another player on the Toronto
Not
Raptors.
better. He's
RJ
not better
Barrett.
than Scotty Barnes.
So
He's
he's
not
not
better
the
than
best
Sway
player.
Barnes,
So he's
okay.
not the best
He's not
player
better than Sway
in
Barnes,
Toronto. Okay.
Jalen
sure.
Brunson is worse than Sway Barnes.
How about in Brooklyn? Is he the best player on that crew?
Clearly, yes.
Okay. How about in Philly?
Joel's in this.
Does
too.
availability count for anything?
It looks like Joel Embiid is going to be ready on opening night.
If you
Okay,
if
well
you
then-
want if,
well
if
then
you
Joel
want to
is
say
the best
JW,
player.
okay.
Then Joel is their best player, and they're going to continue building around him. Look, man, when you got a franchise talent like that, I don't care if they're that injured. You got to just roll with it. You know, I'm just saying, if he shows up tomorrow in Philly, they're not changing their branding to be like, oh, this JDUB's team. They'll brand it as a big three, and then they'll just move Paul George to the bench.
3 teams. They're only rebranding and saying JDUB is our franchise on maybe 3 or 4 teams in the NBA.
3 or 4.
Or 4.
Brooklyn.
Can we carry on?
Washington.
The next team is the Hornets. The next team is the
I don't think. How about Charlotte?
Yeah, I'll give it to him over LaMelo for sure.
And in Washington.
Yes, 100%.
Okay, so now we move to the Western Conference. We know he ain't the best player on his own team. How about in Houston?
No, KD better right now.
How about with the Lakers?
No, Luka better.
What about Bron?
Bron better for now.
What about DeAndre?
Why is Luka better than J-Dub, but Jalen Brunson is not?
He don't play a lick of defense.
Luka is so much better than
And you know why? I know exactly. Here's the thing. I know exactly where you're going. And what I'm trying to do, Penn, is this car is on fire, and I'm trying to drag you out of it, but you won't take the seatbelt off. Okay?
I'm stubborn like that.
You won't take the seatbelt off. Just so we clear, Luka is the exception. Offensively, he's that good. Well, guess what? So is Jalen Brunson.
Not Jalen Brunson, chill. Luka ain't nothing but a tall Trae Young.
That's not true. And honestly, Luka he was a tall Trae Young.
Trae Young's a better passer than Luka.
Okay.
Luka's just 6'8". Which
Okay.
matters. We're talking about
he like 6'7".
we're talking about basketball, so that matters.
This ain't 2018. We're not having Luka and Trae conversations anymore. Like I don't know. You are okay. That's you. You generational Luka hater. That's all it is.
So can we
generational?
So Penn, just take the seatbelt off, Penn. That's all I'm asking. Take the seatbelt off and let me get you out of this car, so you don't die from smoking.
Let it burn.
No,
let it burn, baby.
Oh my goodness. So how about? So we know he's not better than Joker, right?
No.
Is he the best player on the Clippers team?
Mars, relax. Don't have a heart attack.
Defense. Then why Europeans come up all of a sudden? Hey, defense. Who cares?
Bring up DeMontis Sabonis. I dare you. I dare you ass to bring up DeMontis Sabonis.
Then he gonna be like, hey, DeMontis won in Portland, so you know he don't fit the bill, man. I guess.
Please.
So with the Clippers, is he the best player on that team?
No, Kawhi.
Okay, Leonard is the best player on that team. That's interesting. Okay.
Don't stop at Kawhi.
Why is that interesting?
Well, the reason why.
Who do you think is their best player?
I thought their best player was James Harden last year.
Oh,
that's
Lord.
what I thought their best player was. Yes. I thought James Harden was their best player. But
that's fair.
But
79 games.
Is he better than
Hey, chill. Check your back seat. Your car's on fire too.
See, the difference is that I'll get this. I'll get out. See, I'm not gonna burn up in this car. No, I'm not gonna do that. But
John,
okay,
so I got you.
I don't think that. So he's not better. I don't think he's better than Ant. So Minnesota's off the table.
Well, wait, no.
I agree.
Okay, so is he? How about Minnesota?
No, he's not. Ant's better.
Julius Randle?
No, Julius Randle's not better.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Rudy Gobert?
No, Rudy Gobert is not better.
Just a question.
Defense.
Just asking the question. We're just asking the question. Sure.
We just gauging.
How about in Golden State? Is he the best player on that team in Golden State?
Steph.
Jimmy Butler?
Defense.
Jimmy Butler?
Defense.
Jimmy, not anymore. No.
So defense for Steph just doesn't matter. Just checking.
Okay. I know you think you're cooking on this defense thing, but you gotta give me generational offense to make up for defense. And also,
you think what Steph provided this year was generational?
Hold up, Mars. First of all, you familiar with gap theory in basketball?
Educate me.
Okay. Everything in basketball works on physics and gaps, right? So the purpose of any
I don't know if that's right.
Okay, well, it is.
Well, okay.
The way
I'll agree with you for the sake of this.
The way we watch Indiana succeed in the playoffs came down to drawing 2 to the ball and moving the ball very, very quickly and exploiting holes and i.e. gaps in the other team's defense. Okay. The way we watch OKC succeed is largely by plugging up those gaps on defense. That's gap theory. So when you have very, very talented bullet-like fast players or jump shooters like Steph Curry or a powerful, downhill threat like Ja, it destroys gaps. That's how I view it. So for me, JDUB is perfect for the gap theory in basketball. He is the epitome of switchable defensive. right? He's versatile as hell. And when I look at your calling out Nikola Jokic or Luka Doncic as bad defenders, they're still huge human beings who have a remarkable ability
Steph Curry
to do stuff on defense. Okay, hold on. Steph Curry tries on defense. You are not with a straight
So does
face.
Jalen Brunson.
Bro, no. You are not comparing Steph Curry to Jalen Brunson in terms of defensive efficacy. You cannot.
Oh,
and also,
I think he is.
No, you said Steph tries. I'm saying Jalen Brunson tries.
Okay, well, Steph is clearly better, or he is surrounded by better defense, or whatever. Okay, so you asked me, is he the best player in New York? I said, boom, he's the best player in New York. You're not going to be the best player in Golden State because Steph is that much better than JDUB. Despite you telling me 8 months ago that he was washed, he might be over the hill.
Yeah,
he might be regressing.
Steph being washed is still better than JDUB.
Yeah, I know that. I said Steph is better.
It's blowing my mind.
That's something that we're gonna.
How is Donovan Mitchell better, but Jalen Brunson is worse?
Because Donovan Mitchell plays defense, bro.
Define plays defense.
Okay, I will give you my scale on defense. Okay. There are players that can participate in really good defenses, like, I don't know, Paolo Banchero. Not a good defender, but can participate. He does stuff. He can box out. He can be hidden. He can plug up gaps because he's huge. He's a huge human being. Size matters when it comes to defense and basketball, especially when you're talking about plugging up gaps. Luka, Domantas Sabonis, Alperen Sengun, none of these guys are great defenders. Shaq, not a great defender in space, but he can play a role. He can play a great role on defense. My view on this is Trae Young, Anthony Simons. I'm thinking about other players. Trae Young, Anthony Simons, maybe not Jalen Brunson to that level, but he's pretty close. There are certain players that cannot participate in a good defense. They're so woefully small and bad that you are always playing 4-on-5 on that end. To that, I would say I don't think those teams can win.
So if Jalen Brunson was on the Magic, they couldn't have a good defense, in your opinion?
Jalen Brunson can participate. I just don't think he gives you enough on offense to make up for it the way Luka, and he does not give you Luka offense. Chill. You don't have to feign shock. Luka is better than Jalen Brunson.
You just said 8 seconds ago that Jalen Brunson can't participate. Then I give you a team, and then you said he could participate. Okay, I disagree with you. I've watched Jalen Brunson be on a team that was good defensively.
You're still playing 4-on-5.
But you said participate on a good defense. That's what you said. And I'm saying I've watched Jalen Brunson be on a team that was good on defense a few years ago. I watched it happen.
I've watched RJ Barrett be good on a good team defensively. It doesn't mean I'm a good defender. I'm saying that there are certain guys who can participate better than others. I'm saying Trae Young pretty much cannot participate in a functional defense. He is awful.
Okay, and
you have to.
I'm not asking about Trae. I'm asking about Jalen Brunson.
Mars, you know that the Knicks last season, not this season that just passed, but the year that they lost when everybody got hurt to Indiana and East.
With Julius.
That was a top 10 defense, just so we clear. I just want to make sure that we clear on that. That was a top 10 defense.
Jalen Brunson was playing heavy minutes in 2022, and Dallas were like a top 5 defense. Jalen Brunson last year was playing some of the most minutes in the league, and this is on a team that was dealing with a lot of injuries. They were a top 10 defense. Jalen Brunson has been on good defenses. Jalen Brunson has been on them. So what point are you making that Jalen Brunson can't be a part of good defenses when he factually has been?
Already said that he can participate in a good defense. He's just not an overwhelming positive on that end. You understand? I did not throw him in.
But then we get to the point of either you're understating how much better Jalen Brunson is offensively, or the defensive point is not making sense to me. One or the other.
The point is, I value offense more than defense for sure. But there is a certain level that you hit defensively for me. It's like a cutoff, say 15th percentile. Like if you were 15th percentile defender for your position, I literally can't rate you. I just can't. I just can't.
What percentile is Steph?
Hit
20th, 25th, something like that. He's above the watermark, bro. We're not drowning with him.
Okay.
Pin. So the point I want to bring into this, and we spoke about this earlier. So you got, let's say the league just did a draft, for instance. Mm-hmm. You got Jalen Brunson on the board, or you got JDUB on the board. I would probably say 70% of GMs are going to take Jalen Brunson because the chills point, we can build with them or around them, however you want to do it. You can build that competent defense like the Mavs did, like the Knicks did. Hell. It's good. So, Pin, people are going to draft JDUB For a season. I'm not talking about for the future, for a season. Let's say you're playing fantasy basketball and and Jalen Brunson's on the board, J-Dub's on the board. You mean to tell me with their first pick, teams are gonna pick J-Dub over Brunson?
Yep.
What percentile is Jokic and Luka defensively for their position?
Jokic, I would say 65th to 70th percentile.
Hell no.
Luka
Hell
probably
no.
40.
Hell no, I ain't doing that.
70th percentile?
Hell no.
Yup.
We way lower than that.
I said 65th to 70th percentile for his position.
No way
Absolutely.
are we doing that. But hold on, Ron. Where were we? We were at Denver.
He never answered for Luka. Luka's who?
Swiper
Luka's
would be so proud of me. That's great.
I don't even know if Swiper would agree with you. Luka's
No,
what
he
percentile?
definitely would.
I hope
He
not.
said Luka was
It's
in
the
the
first time y'all
65,
making me miss
70%.
Swiper up here. Shit.
Yeah, the 65 to 70%.
No, that's Jokic. What percentile is Luka?
40.
He said 40.
40, 45th, something like that.
Among point guards,
No way.
you think
No.
Luka's in the 40th percentile?
No.
Is that what you said? Relative to position. That's what you said.
That's
No.
fair. So he plays point guard now. Okay. I view him more as a small forward personally. I don't care.
Even
that he plays
then.
point guard.
Even then.
I think that gets worse for him, but sure.
Yeah.
Way worse.
Like, wait, at least
The
point guards, you
lowest-
got the Trey
the
Young
lowest-
bringing down the
The
average.
lowest I can go on Luka is like 35th percentile. That's the lowest. He's not 20th percentile. Get the hell out of here,
Yes.
man.
And
He's not-
Jalen Brunson's what percentile again?
Yes, he is.
I would say he's 15th to 20th, somewhere in that range.
Okay.
And
Easy
Jokic
move
is
on.
65th to 70th.
Yep.
And Luka's 35th to 40.
Yep.
So Luka's a better defender than Jalen Brunson.
Yep.
Pretty much twice.
Substantially better, by the
Yeah,
way,
pretty
because
much.
20% and 35% aren't close. Just so we clear.
Percentile.
Yeah, well,
Percentile.
that explains
close.
why there's such a large disagreement between how I view Jalen Brunson and how Penn
Yes.
views Jalen Brunson.
So
But
where
let's
was
Now
proceed,
hold
Jim.
on. Now talk about J-Dub. What percentile is he? 99th percentile? Probably.
For sure, yeah, like
99th.
95th plus. We'll say 95th
That's-
plus, 95 plus.
I was
yeah.
thinking like 98. Sure, I can get with that.
95th. It really does depend on how much you value versatility and defense. Because if you value versatility
Okay,
the way
first
I
of
value
all, Penn,
versatility,
let's be clear
shit.
about one thing. When Coach Dagnall had J-Dub, when we was running the file with that small ball lineup, he was running that against other small ball lineups.
That's
That was going on. Let's not
That-
make it look like he was out there covering
Hang
Joker.
on.
That wasn't going on. No,
He
he was
has
not
guarded.
dealing with Zubac. That
He
wasn't
has
going on.
He
He
has
was
successfully
switching
guarded.
to the
He
five,
guards the
but he
paint.
was dealing with Draymond, by the way.
Oh
That's
my
what he
God.
was doing.
Okay, Draymond, big dude. Okay, first of all, like he's strong.
And so am I. I'm
Okay.
6'6".
Oh,
there are not a lot of wings that can deal with
Draymond's
Draymond in
6'5".
terms of size. Okay,
By
cool.
the way,
He got a
Mark.
7'1" wingspan. My point is, they also faced EVs at Zubats, and they floated. Okay, they faced the Clippers. Let's not forget that. That's a 7-footer. Okay, and that's a 7-footer who scores very well in the paint. And he did not have a great game.
Is he better than
against-
J-Dub?
Who?
Zoo.
No. What?
I was thinking anchored an elite defense, good on offense. I was curious.
Yo, let's get to the
decent.
next team. Now,
As
chill.
I was
Is
saying,
Zoo is Zoo better than James Harden?
I kept trying to ask.
Nah, they're close.
What percentile defensively is James Harden?
30th, 25th,
What
30th,
percentile is Zoo?
98th percentile. I already told you, offense matters more than defense, right?
James Harden isn't
I
that on
agree.
offense anymore.
I agree,
Okay.
but
And if
Jalen
one
Brunson.
and I
James
value
isn't
and I
that
value
though
creation.
anymore.
Okay, well, here's the thing. I also value positional size. Do you?
Positional size.
Yes, I
Sure.
value positional size.
I value it in terms of like if you actually do something with it.
Well,
Like,
you
just
always
being
doing
big
something
to
with
be
it.
big doesn't do much.
Well,
but
being
yeah, I
big
value it
on
in
the
that
basketball
sense.
court actually does help you a lot, Mars. It
Yeah,
helps
if
you.
you-
It helps
if
you in
you
terms
do
of
it,
angles. It
Yeah,
helps you
if
see
you
over the
if
defense.
if you
If you're just
do
big for
things
nothing,
with
that
that,
doesn't
yeah,
work.
if you do things
Like,
with
you're
that,
just
yeah.
out.
Well, so
There's a lot of dudes
we're
that
not talking
take
about we're not
no
talking about DeAndre Ayton. We're talking about big for your size as a playmaker. It helps that Paolo can pass the ball at 6'10". That's what makes him special. If he was 6'2", he wouldn't be a first overall pick. So you can't just forget that.
No
Jalen
one's
Brunson
forgetting it.
has disadvantages on the basketball court. There are certain things that he cannot do offensively and defensively, and you are going to get schemed. Look, here's a question for you, Mars. You're a
What
smart
about
guy.
speed? Do you value that?
Speed? Of course I value speed. That's a huge way to look. I talk about gap theory, right? The other day on our channel, we were discussing how to get space. The way people think you're supposed to get space is 5 out or 4 out, 1 in. That's not the only way you can get space.
No,
You can get space through screening. I value your screening ability. Do we talk about, Jalen Brunson can
Another
set
reason
some-
why Zoo is better than James Harden.
Okay. But on the other end of that screen is a ball handler who can manipulate the pick and roll. And that's where James Harden's value goes through the roof, generating
Another
offense.
reason why Jalen Brunson's better than JDUB.
I'm not saying Jalen Brunson's a bum. I didn't say he was worse than RJ Barrett and Malik Monk.
Him
I
not
said
being
he
a
was
bum does
worse
not
than the
mean-
second best player on a championship team.
Mm-hmm.
A guy who was drawing comparisons by very smart people to Scottie Pippen. A guy who Scottie Pippen himself said.
Shout out to Roto.
A guy who Scottie Pippen himself said. This guy reminds me of a.
Is Chet better than Jalen Brunson?
Bro, what I saw from Chet, nah. I can't go that far. Just offensively, he's just so loose with the basketball. He's just bumping him off the place. But if he puts on some weight, hell yeah. Yeah. His defensive impact, holy shit. Not food at the rim, Ox. Not
Chill, you got a
barbecue
couple
chicken?
more teams?
I do have a couple
He
more
been
teams,
put at
bro.
the rim a bunch of times.
Spurs,
Let's
no.
let's get into these next teams.
Minnesota. We already talked about Minnesota.
He's not.
Golden State.
Nope.
Memphis.
Damn, see, I put him and Jaren Jackson in the same bucket, sort of. But he'd be marginally better than Jaren Jackson because he's not as soft.
I think he's the best player on Memphis.
Yeah, I'll give it to him.
So Ja's the second best player in Memphis, just to clarify.
I'm comfortable with that, Moss. Yes.
I'm just making sure that
I'm comfortable with that.
because that's what Penn's in playing. I'm just making sure that
I'm telling you, like I'm very high on Ja Morant, but I've been viewing him through rose-colored glasses, like because I'm just a big fan of his. And I watched some film breakdowns on him, and I started breaking down my own film, and I'm like, he doesn't really process the court as well as I thought he did.
Yes,
He don't really
that's the thing that I didn't give him enough credit for. The fact of how well he processes the court, how well he passes, the playmaker that he is. I didn't give him enough credit for doing that. He's a lot better playmaker than I gave him credit for as a distributor.
I don't think he's a game manager that guys like Luka are. I think there's a gap. So
I ain't saying that you got to be Luka good. Okay, see, that's where that's where the divide comes in. Like when you bring up players, man,
he was being brought up as a face of the league. Chill.
Okay, yeah, and we got off of that real quick. But in 2025, I still didn't give him enough credit for how he gets downhill and is able to find guys in the process of getting downhill, especially how fast he plays and the athlete that he is. I didn't give him enough credit for that. He's a lot better than I gave him credit for. So,
so J-Dub's better than Ja?
I'm comfortable saying that J-Dub would be the best player on that Memphis team if he played on it. I'm comfortable.
You are?
Yes.
I hope we're all like this is all every player J-Dub is better than. Scotty Barnes is also better. I just want to make sure that we're aware of what's going on.
LeBron James, baby.
Wait, am I tripping right now?
No, you're not.
If I'm the one tripping, that's okay.
No, you're not.
I don't mind it.
You're not tripping.
Hold up. When it was convenient for y'all to hate on,
I've been on the wrong side of things plenty of times in my life, and I'll do it again today. I just want to make sure that I'm the one tripping before we move on.
So
ahead of Game 4 in the finals,
I don't think
which one of you panelists was sitting up here trying to tell me that J-Dub might win Final MVP? Was it you, Ron? Trying to bring that propaganda up? Okay,
I'm high on J-Dub.
What does that got to do with Ja Morant?
I'm just not high on crack.
Ja Morant, 0 Finals MVPs. That's what it's got to do with it.
And J-Dub has 0 Finals MVPs. But
let's be real. Every single player y'all brought up will be the second best player to check, anyways.
I'm telling you, that was not a mic.
Besides, like Jokic and maybe
neither
Luka
one of them have
Giannis
any Finals MVPs.
Healthy
I want to know what the Finals MVP has to do with Ja Morant. Jalen Brown has a Finals MVP. How many Finals MVP does J-Dub have, Penn?
0. Media is crazy.
Oh, okay. So now, bro, I swear to God, bro, move on, please.
Tatum clears.
Please.
At basketball, as a basketball player, is Ja Morant better than J-Dub?
I don't know what that means.
That means that when we get on the floor,
we're on a basketball show.
What setting? We playing in Europe? We playing in the NBA? We playing Summer League? What are we doing?
So when we get on the floor, Penn, really quick, when we get on the floor, we got a lineup of Ja Morant at the 1, J-Dub at the 2, and Triple J at the 4. That lineup, who is the best basketball player in that lineup? Who is the best basketball player?
You're gonna run your offense through Ja. 100%.
So Ja is the guy that we running our offense through.
But J-Dub is gonna give you the most value.
You can be the hub and not be the best basketball player.
He's gonna lock down defensively. He's gonna cut. He's gonna hit open shots. He's gonna offensive rebound. He's gonna do all the stuff that you need from a dirty work player, and he's gonna guard 1 through 5. and he's going to be unschemable. How do you attack this guy?
Alex
That's what I
Caruso's
want to
better
know.
than John
We
Morant.
watch
I'm here for it.
defenses attack Jokic. We watch defenses attack Murray. We watch defenses attack so many players. Hali, all these guys. How do you attack this man? I want to know. How do you attack this guy? We watch defenses attack Shea even, and Shea's a pretty good defender. He's a much better defender than Jalen Brunson and those dudes.
I want to clarify. I don't think JDUB is better than Ja at basketball. I want to clarify that. I want to make sure that we clear on that. I don't think he's better than Ja Morant at basketball. No, I don't think that. But if he was on this crew and what he brings in terms of everything he brings with Ja, with Triple J, I think that he would be the guy because of everything that he brings.
He would. I think he makes them substantially better.
Substantially better.
On this team, though, he is clearly the third option.
Clearly?
And clearly the third option.
Third.
Yeah.
Third option.
Wow,
Yes.
Ron.
Wait, who's the third? Wait, I wasn't actually listening.
JDUB was the third option.
Is the third
on
option.
the Memphis crew.
On the Grizzlies?
He's
better than
Memphis
Jaren Jackson. He's
Yes.
better than
But
Jaren Jackson.
no, he might be. I still think that he's going to be the third option.
Oh,
It's gonna be a
damn.
lot
What does option mean?
Welcome to the
Like,
burnt car club, Ron.
Third scoring option. So when we're drawing up plays and stuff like that.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. Yeah,
not,
maybe.
Not necessarily the third best player, but here's the thing, though.
okay.
Even on teams where you are the third best player, or you could be the second best player and still be the third option.
Third
Yeah.
See
scoring
what I'm
option.
saying? And still,
Yeah, that's why I had to
still,
understand what he was saying because J-Dub's better
Yeah.
than Jaren Jackson. So.
Yeah, and you'll still look like the third best player because all the small things that you do and stuff like that. Sometimes it doesn't show up in the stat sheet, and we won't inflate you to be the third best player. Like for instance, I think that J-Dub's better than Chet because of a lot of the scoring and stuff like that. A lot of people will push back and say that no, Chet Holmgren is.
J-Dub got it to a Chet serious on offense. J-Dub's got it. Yeah, I'll have to step back from that agenda. I just want to know if J-Dub's better than Devin Booker. That's what I'm trying to get to. I'm just trying to
even earlier in the season when J-Dub had better
Devin
stats,
Booker.
Phoenix
you
is
would still
actually
say that Chet was better.
Sacramento's the next team.
Yeah, but we know he thinks J-Dub's better than DeMontis, so I want to know if J-Dub's better than Devin Booker.
Oh, he doesn't.
No,
He does.
I don't think he's better than
No
Devin.
way.
Actually, the next team is Dallas. He's not the best player on that Dallas team.
Is
No,
he
he's
better than
not.
Kyrie?
Kyrie's hurt. We're not doing hurt players.
We're not doing her plays. He's not better than AD. No.
Whoa, ho! J-Dub is not better than Kyrie Irving. That's what you just said. I want to make sure I'm not losing my mind over here.
He's injured. We're not talking about him.
Okay.
We're not doing hurt
Move on.
players.
Okay. So
If Kyrie was healthy, is J-Dub better than him?
I plead the fifth.
he thinks
No Kyrie hate here.
Okay.
Love Kyrie. Coming off a pretty serious
It
injury at
doesn't-
32. Yeah.
it's not.
I
Is
gotta-
J-Dub better? Is J-Dub better than Zion?
Do I got to factor Zion being super healthy and
Is
in shape?
is J-Dub better than him?
Zion
If I'm the Pelicans,
No.
I'd trade Zion. I'll trade Zion for.
Is J-Dub
No,
better
Mars.
than him?
No,
He's
he's not
not.
better at basketball
No,
than him.
he's
No,
not.
he's not.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
say that. And
He's
let's-
not.
And that's it. We don't need to talk about Utah. We already said Wemby's better.
Right.
So there we go. We got through the teams.
Yep.
We didn't do Portland.
He's not. Is J-Dub better than Denny Avdia?
Yeah.
There you
What about Drew?
Yep.
go. I forgot. about Drew.
Gotta
You gotta
ask.
ask. Ox gotta
I
hey,
forgot
hey,
about
I'm
Drew.
I'm with Ox.
Just want to know.
You miss 100% of the shots that you don't shoot.
It sounds like J-Dub's top 25 after all of that. It took about an hour, but we got there. It sounds like that top 25.
Yo, I want to transition into a couple other things. We have some things to talk about. We got crunch time chats coming up here very soon in a couple
He
minutes.
didn't do
But-
Devin Booker.
No, he said
But
Devin
you
Booker's
said
better.
it.
He said Devin Booker's better. He said
My
Devin
bad. I'm
Booker's
sorry. Go ahead. My bad.
better. I was going to ask about Jalen Green, but I didn't want to derail anything. So just,
All right, y'all. The Pacers president, Kevin Pritchard, has confirmed that Tyrese Halliburton will indeed miss the full season this next year. Thoughts on that?
Ron, if
we knew that.
Tell us that.
Yeah, I love
If
Kevin
the-
Pritchard, but
He
he's
told
capping
us the
as
sky is
well.
blue. He told us that you can drink water.
Okay.
would this be would this be a conversation if Indiana was going to be like, let's say they didn't lose Miles Turner and the next year, because I don't think he should play anyway. But let's just say for the sake of argument, next year they didn't lose Miles Turner and his team was like a threat in the East. Like they ended up being like the 6th seed, and we get to March, or we get to April, and they're a top 5, top 6 seed, and they win a playoff series. Are we entertaining bringing back Tyrese Halliburton at that point?
No.
I don't think so neither.
I mean,
if they make it to May, I may consider it.
why do you think
What
they
lo-
traded?
what
Why do you
logical
think they
sense
traded
does
their
it-
first pick back? Why do you think they got that 2026 first round pick back 3-4 days before Tyrese Halliburton got injured? I came on the show and told y'all he was going to get injured,
Yeah.
right? I did. So why did they do that trade When is the last time you've seen a trade in the middle of a finals make a trade like that? Joe
Apparently
Dumars
Denver
just be
did
getting
it.
cooked.
That's what Swiper said to me, but I don't know.
What?
Swiper said Denver did something like that, but I don't know.
I don't remember
if he
that.
was right.
I think Boston did something similar, but it was a very but trading for your pick back for this year when your franchise point guard is playing through Achilles, they called it, I don't know what they called it. They called it hamstring tightness, right?
Calf
Calf
strain.
strain.
Calf strain.
But Dr. Stewart, who breaks down all these injuries, he pointed to that K-tape on his Achilles. And he said, yo, like this is serious. Like this is Achilles stuff. And that's why I was very dubious about him
The
playing.
calf and Achilles are next door neighbors.
Yes, I understand that. But if they knew that he could have this, and we've already seen two, bro. We already seen, Jason Tatum go down. We already seen Damian Lillard go down. Them trading for this pick is so damn suspicious. Because literally like 3 days later, he went down for the season. And oh wow, that 2026 first round pick just became super valuable again. They hoodwinked the league. They knew this was a possibility. I swear to God, they did.
Sounds
All right,
smart.
Charles. So, something else that happened yesterday was, speaking of Devin Booker, him and the Suns have agreed to a 2-year, $150 million extension through 2030. Thoughts on this?
Shout out to D Book. You getting a
Get that
lot
bread,
of
baby.
75 mil is a lot of money.
Get that bread, brother. Yes,
That's
sir.
crazy.
Get that bread. He's been there. What are we in? 25? He's been there since what?
A decade.
16? 15?
15.
16? Yeah, since 15. So, yes.
I remember when he was called Empty Stats. I remember that.
Man, shout out D Book. And with that being said, too, well, obviously the Suns are in the midst of a transition. They just traded for Jalen Green, drafted Kamal Malawach, made some other acquisitions, but they are currently in the process of buying out Bradley Beal. And word on the street is that the Clippers are not just going for Bradley Beal, but they might be grabbing Chris Paul back too. How do we feel about both of these guys going to the Clippers? Chris Paul and Bradley Beal.
I like it.
Back with James Harden again.
And Kawhi.
Chris Paul has made it clear that this is his last season. He's probably done after the season.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, I think that's good. And me and Ox just had this conversation on Saturday. I don't think we talk nearly as much about how good of a basketball player Bradley Beal is, and like what he how he fits with that Clipper team. If he could stay healthy. Yes,
is he better than Norman Powell?
Yes. I think so.
Bradley Beal or Chris Paul?
Bradley Beal.
Yeah,
Yes.
Bradley Beal.
How is he
Bradley
better
Beal
than
a better
Norman
player
Powell?
than-
Yes. I think he's first of all, in terms of the one, he's younger. That's number one. Number
He's
two,
not.
Are they not the same age?
They're
I
about
thought
the
he was
same.
younger than him like a year or two. I thought he was
I
like a year or two.
thought Norman was.
I know Norman Powell is 32.
Bradley Beal is 32 in 10 days.
Okay,
How
so
old do we think
they
Norman Powell
the
is?
same. I thought he was younger
He's
than him.
32.
I'm sorry.
Norman's 32 or 33. They're about the same.
Yeah, but we need to see how many
so-
days it is. We need to see how many days.
Okay, so they're the same age. All right, with that
34 days difference, so a month.
so basically a month. All right, so let's take the age. Let's take the age thing
Wait.
out.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so let's take the age thing out. So Norman Powell, one, just like Bradley Beal, streaky scorer, but Bradley Beal I think is a much better one-on-one player than him. I think he's much better in transition than him.
That's the
I
difference.
think I think his stop and pop game is way different. I think he's a better athlete than Norman Powell as well. And I also think that he could score. I think he could score in different ways than Norman Powell does. And on defense, I think that he competes way more than Norman Powell does on defense. Norman Powell gets lost a lot, especially on that Clipper defense last season. When I watched him, he gets lost a lot. And I was advocating for Norman Powell in that defense last year, and I was wild for that. But Bradley Beal, on the other hand, on ball, I think that he competes a lot more than Norman Powell does. I think he's overall a better player than Norman Powell, and I think he fits better with this Clipper team. I don't think we give Bradley Beal nearly enough credit for as good a basketball player that he is and what he's done as good of a basketball player. Like I told you before, Penn, he was averaging 17 a game as the third guy, and he was injured. He had a bad back.
I agree, Charles. I think Bradley Beal's better than Norman, mostly just because the ISO scoring. I think he's a better ISO scorer. Other than that, I mean, but I do think that if, like, so for instance, if this happened last year, I think Brad provides a lot more in that series against the Nuggets when Norman was kind of falling asleep.
Yeah, I think Bradley Beal is better. I don't agree with all the things that Chill thinks Bradley Beal is better at, but I do think Bradley Beal is the better player. I think when you're making 53 million and not living up to it, you tend to get underrated in terms of how good you are because you're less valuable than how good you are, if that makes sense. Now Bradley Beal is going to be on a minimum or whatever, close to it. Yeah, he's going to be a better player than Norman Powell, just like he always was. But he just
is it because of the money, Mars, or because he's actually a better player?
He's a better player. Like, I just think he's a better player, but I think you lose sight of that when you're underperforming your contract to the degree that Bradley Beal was.
Yeah.
So people won't acknowledge, oh, Bradley Beal is actually good, because like Bradley Beal is making a third of our cap to do this, and it's like he's not worth that. So now he's worse than all of these other guys, and it's like, well, no, he's probably not. Like if Bradley Beal, if everyone in the NBA was on a minimum contract, I don't think anyone would be saying Norman Powell's better than Bradley Beal.
Right.
I don't think anyone would be saying that.
James Harden, and I talked about this yesterday. I think James Harden is going to help Brad out a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? I think that helps Brad kind of maybe turn the clock back a couple seasons. Not averaging 30, but I think it helps Brad a whole lot.
I think that back injury slowed him down. I know we got to move on, Ron. I think that back injury did slow him down, and we kind of forgot. Coupled with the money that he's making, it deterred our attention to how good he is as a bucket getter, how good he is in transition, and just an overall scorer, like the 3-level scorer that he is. I love everything about Bradley Beal when he was healthy.
Norman Powell's
all right, chat.
Shooter. Just want to throw that out there. Way better.
All right, chat. Everybody viewing right now, it's time to get into these crunch time chats. The last portion of every hour, we will be reading you guys' super chats, and you guys will be steering the direction of the show. So come on, chat, grab the wheel. Let's get into it. DSG Piccolo said another day of the offseason to say a crazy, but not too crazy take. So Klingon will be the second best rim protector this season. Will force more middies than all but Wemby. Third best defense in the league soon.
I think the Blazers have a chance to be one of them elite defenses. Third, I think is tough because you got OKC, Orlando, and Houston, who I think are probably going to lock up them 3 spots. But when you look at Denny, Tamani, Donovan Klingon, Drew Holiday,
serious defense.
Woo!
Serious
That's some defense right there.
Yes,
I love Klingon. Second best rim protector in the league. Me personally, I think Wemby and Chet gonna have that tied down for a little while. But Donovan Klingon is amazing rim protector. He looks like the biggest player in the league. I say that every time I watch him play. He looks like the biggest player in the league. He's a humongous
second best rim protector in the league. Is that what he said? So
that's what Piccolo said.
So second best behind Wemby. And
I'd
again,
Wemby, yeah.
Chet's got something to say about that. Let's please not forget that Anthony Davis is chilling in Dallas, and
Rudy Gobert still exists.
Rudy Gobert still exists. Evan Mobley is an elite rim protector. So, I mean, there's a bunch of rim protectors who are waving, going, "Hello, over here."
But chill, the mass though, Donovan Klingon is huge too.
Which I don't.
People don't want to go near him.
Isn't he what is he like 7'1"?
He's listed at like 7'2", but I don't know. He's the biggest human in the NBA to me.
He's wide though. His shoulders are broad.
Massive.
His chest, his whole body is he's filled out.
No,
My thing, that's the only pushback I'll say about Chet. You're not going through Donovan Klingon. Like if you know what I'm saying. So
he has a fouling issue right now.
So he's 7'3".
But he has to figure it out. He has to figure it out.
Size and physicality too, though. So when and also maybe timing. Chet might be better with timing, getting to the ball. But I just think like will you see like a guy? Let's use Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards is the perfect example because he's big, you know, size wise, and he's super athletic getting in the air. When you jump and Chet turns around into that, he's probably going through Chet. When Donovan Klingon turns around, it's not like that. You know what I'm saying? You feel that. Yeah, it's you hit that brick wall, and you're not just gonna just now Donovan Klingon will get dunked on, of course. Everybody, all bigs are gonna get dunked on.
Sure.
But it's not like that. You know what I'm saying? You can't jump through him.
Fair enough.
He's 7'3", 290. And Zach Edey is 7'4", 300-ish.
Like Zach Edey is huge.
Donovan Klingon still looks bigger to me. So.
He does look bigger. Yeah, he does.
He looks bigger than Zach Edey.
Yeah, I don't know. I said this months ago. They play in the national championship.
How did they look when they played against each other?
Klingon to me, every time he steps on the court, he looks like the biggest player on the court. I'm aware of Zach Edey's measurables. I'm aware he weighs more and is taller. He looks bigger. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I'm not saying he's objectively bigger. I'm aware he's not, but he looks bigger to me.
Broad shoulders.
People look bigger when their heads are smaller. It's just a fact. It's a fact. It's a fact. You have seen people who are like 5'9" and they look like they're 6'3",
like Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson damn near looks 5'6".
He's
sure.
inverse because he got that big head.
But he got a big ass head though.
Fred VanVleet, same thing, you know. But John Morant don't look tiny.
Klingon made J-Val look kind of small.
Like he's the biggest person in the league. Like if you just put every huge NBA player on the court together and you said we don't know their measurables, point to the biggest person out here, 84% of people will point at Donovan Klingon. I guarantee it.
That sounds like a Twitter poll, Mars.
84% of people will point at Donovan. You put him on the court with Chet, Wemby, Zach Edey. Who else is like really big in the NBA right now? They just drafted Yang. He's another big guy.
Draymond.
But like all of those guys, you put them all on the court, point to the biggest guy out here, people will point to Klingon. Like that's my evidence.
All right, y'all. Tupac Westside said, I can see the Magic doing great next season. Also, chill. Is it crazy to say that MJ was a very underrated passer? Not elite like James, Magic, Stockton, etc., but definitely underrated.
No, it's not crazy.
It's not. Yeah.
No, it's not crazy to say that he was underrated. But I don't think people underrate MJ as a passer because like we don't put him in conversations with like you just talked about Magic and stuff like that. I mean, Jordan was a great passer. He was one of the best passers in the league when he played. But it got overshadowed by the flight and the athleticism and the scoring. But Jordan was a fantastic passer. Yes. And it got enhanced when he
guards. Where does he rank as a passer? Purely just passing ability. Where does he stand for you?
I think he's at the top of the list. Yes. I'm thinking about two guards, Bryant,
Harden?
James Harden.
James Harden is better than MJ, right? As a passer.
As a distributor, yes.
Okay.
But I don't think James Harden is a two guard. I think he's a combo guard. But if that's what we're doing, if we're saying James Harden is a two guard, James Harden I think is Ron. You can try to have this conversation if you want, but I think James Harden is a tier above Jordan as a distributor. I don't think that
you think Dwayne Wade. You think Jordan's a better passer than Dwayne Wade?
Yes, I do think Jordan's a better passer.
You think he's a better passer than Manu Ginobili?
Hell no.
I'm with you, Ox.
Manu Ginobili was a damn good passer.
I think these guys are just more willing passers.
So was Jordan too, though, and I think that
Jay was. Oh my goodness!
But I think what you guys are forgetting, Jordan in the triangle offense, I think it enhanced his ability to pass. Manu Ginobili, don't get me wrong, I think Manu Ginobili was better at manipulating defenses in traffic.
Chill, he's not a better passer than Pistol Pete. No offense.
How many guys are better than Pistol Pete as a passer? Like
not
forget two guards. How many players are better than Pistol Pete?
Well, we talking about two guards right now.
Let's
You
talk about
said
guards.
MJ the top
Pistol
two
Pete was a
guard.
lead guard.
MJ my favorite player of all time. There's no way in hell I'm taking him over Pistol Pete. I'm not taking him over Manu. I'm not taking him over Harden.
Tracy McGrady.
I'm not taking him over Tracy McGrady.
Tracy McGrady. Yes, I think so.
I don't agree.
Yes,
I don't agree.
I think
I don't think he was a better passer than Dwayne Wade either.
I think he was a better passer than Dwayne.
I don't think he was a better passer than T. I don't think he was a better passer than T-Mac. I don't think he was a better passer than Dwayne Wade, Manu Ginobili, James Harden.
What are you basing that on, Moss? Because I watched.
I'm gonna leave Kobe out of it, but I don't think he was a better passer than Kobe either. So
that's close.
But I think he was a great passer. I think I don't know. Maybe I'm underrating Jordan. I think all of those guys I just said I think are better passers than him.
I mean,
I don't think T-Mac is close, and I don't think Manu is close. By the way, I think they're clearly better than him. So
I think that's where the separation is with me. Like I think with Manu Ginobili, I think Manu Ginobili was better in traffic, and I think he was better at on a dime in traffic. But Jordan was fantastic on a dime, especially off the dribble with one hand. Not with the weak hand, but with one hand, Jordan was fantastic on a dime. But I don't think he was better than Manu Ginobili. And I think it looked different with Manu Ginobili because he was left-handed. I think Jordan in traffic, I think he was better than Tracy McGrady as a passer, getting around big guys, dishing to guys like Horace Grant, especially looking off the defense and shifting the defense to get the guy the ball. And I think he got that from the University of North Carolina with fundamentals. With that being said, I think Tracy McGrady's a good passer, but I think Dwayne Wade, I think about guys like Dwayne Wade, Jordan was a better passer than him because he was bigger. I thought he could see over the defense. I thought he could read defenses better. Bryant also. I think Bryant missed guys a lot more than Jordan did. And I think that was largely due to Bryant wanting to be that dude. Like Jordan, he conformed to the triangle, and with conforming to the triangle, I think that he saw how much more wide open the offense was, and he got guys more involved. Even though, I mean, I feel like Bryant did that too, but I think Jordan did it more.
I'm fine with saying he's better than Kobe because of the willingness. Like, if we're talking about the ability to actually make the pass, I think Kobe's better. But if you want to hold it against Kobe that he wasn't as willing, I'm fine conceding that. T-Mac, D-Wade. Well, we're not going to bring up Manu again because I think we're probably all on the same page.
I'll give you Manu. Yes, I'll give you Ginobili. Sure.
But you won't give me Pistol Pete?
No, he said
Pistol Pete. I didn't know Pistol Pete was a two guard. I thought he was a 2 guard. I didn't know that.
But
he is a 2 guard.
T-Mac and Dwayne Wade. I'm going to start with Dwayne Wade.
Sure.
Dwayne Wade, especially out of pick and roll, the ability to consistently make the reads, the interior passes that he was making in the crowded paints, while also being able to, he can make jump passes just like Jordan could. That was Jordan's go-to. Jordan's go-to was the jump pass. That's why fundamentals, he was kind of anti-fundamental at that point. Like Jordan can make those jump passes, but D-Wade can make jump passes. He can make laydowns, interior passes, the full court outlets. There's something that Jordan was just not throwing. D-Wade was throwing full court outlets with regularity. The accuracy on lob passes, like all of the variety of passes that Dwayne Wade was throwing, like in my opinion, trumps MJ in a different capacity. And then I'm looking at, to me, the most valuable passes are going to be the interior ones. D-Wade's making that with regularity. And then all the pick and roll stuff, like I said. D-Wade, to me, is not a question. Tracy McGrady, I don't know if it's because he hasn't won any. I'm not saying you chill. I don't know if it's because he hasn't won anything or whatever the case may be, ring culture, all that stuff. His skill set is one of the best ever. When we talk about a 2-guard passing, we're talking about a 6'8", 6'9" 2-guard who, like Jordan, could see over the defense. He could see over the defense. You got the ball in the post with Tracy McGrady. I'm watching games, multiple games, playoff series, where they're doubling the post and Tracy McGrady is blitzing it. Go watch the 0-1 playoff series against the Milwaukee Bucks. They couldn't double team Tracy McGrady because he was frying them. That's what was happening. We're talking about someone who can find gaps in defenses that aren't even there. He's looking off defenses. He's manipulating double teams. He's finding skip passes. He's doing all of those things. Whereas I think the thing that's given me the edge with Tracy McGrady and D-Wade over MJ is the versatility of the passing. We got guys who are passing out of pick and roll, passing out of the post, throwing hit heads in transition. Sure. T-Mac wasn't throwing the full court outlets like Dwayne Wade. Like Dwayne Wade's kind of ahead of his time in that regard, I guess. But I'm looking at those guys, like that's a level above not Kobe, MJ for me. I think MJ's in that group with Kobe.
Mars.
Now, depends how you feel about Clyde Drexler.
Can we stay
like,
here?
Jerry West.
Can I counter that?
Jerry West is a point guard to me. I would call Jerry West a point guard.
I want to stay where Mars is.
Before you cook up, chill. I'm not gonna take long. Just a quick second, Mars. I just wanted to say, like, you just almost brought a tear to my eye, Mars. I love when you get to cooking like that. Thank you for that. That was
okay. Yeah, chill. We do got to move on. Now.
I know we got to move on.
We got.
You gotta let him respond. God,
we got to get back into these super. If somebody wants to hear more about it, send through a super chat. We'll get back into it.
Counter that with Boss.
King Bo said, "The one we hope pans out is Thomas Sorber. Chill. Topic is just the icing on the cake."
And guess what? You know who else was the icing on the cake? Giannis. He was the icing on the cake. Jabari Parker was the guy that they wanted. He was the guy. Giannis was insurance. Let's be clear on that right now. So
chill. I'm so emotional right now.
I apologize.
You throw Jabari on top of it.
I apologize. So Jabari Parker was the guy, and Giannis was insurance for him. And then to come to find out, oh shit, we got
Chris Middleton wasn't even really being thought of.
We didn't even know it.
Yeah, just making it up to Ox because I said JDUB was better than Jaylen Brown. Just making him feel better. That's good.
Scotty Barnes was better than Jaylen Brown too.
Yeah, I did. Say it again too.
You can't ruin this pin. You can't, no matter what you say.
All right.
Ronald sent through a super chat and said, apparently both Cam Thomas and Cumming want $30 million a year from their teams, but the Nets are only offering 17 and the Warriors 18. How do y'all think it ends?
I think
for Cam Thomas and Cumming.
They're not worth $30 million.
Yeah, I think Kuminga takes what's available right now.
Do you think the Warriors match whatever Kuminga gets offered?
Well, what has he gotten offered though?
I don't know.
I think that's why they only offering 18 because maybe that's what his market is right now.
Chill.
If
You
I'm
know
the
how
Warriors, I'd get off Kuminga anyway, sign and trade, whatever.
Chill. You know how every single time you talking to Ron, you say next time we see you, we boxing.
Yes.
That's about to be Kuminga and CJ McCollum for negotiating this bullshit ass deal, bro. These guys got messed up.
Well, Penn, do you think, like, regardless of that, do you think Jonathan Kuminga, and I think Jonathan Kuminga is better than he's been able to display just with what's going on in Golden State and Steve Kerr, but I don't know if 30 mil is the right range for him anyway, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't see it for him right now. If you base it off potential, and if you go into a team where I can guarantee you this coach can utilize you, then I can see it that way. But a long-term deal giving 30 mil a year, I don't know yet.
This will kind of messes me up, Box, because the value is always fluctuating with these guys. We seen your Sacramento Kings salary dump Davion Mitchell, and we seen my Toronto Raptors salary dump Davion Mitchell again. Now we seen him get 2 years, 24 million. Make it make sense. We seen Dennis Schroeder get salary dumped multiple times. Bro was on 4 teams in like 4 hours, but now he gets $45 million. So I'm saying your market is whatever people are willing to pay you in that moment, right? And right now, it just doesn't seem like there's a lot of people willing to bend over backwards to go into the apron, potentially luxury tax. I think it's just a lot of people freaked out about the financial implications of going deep. And you look at a guy like Jonathan Kuminga, you look at a guy like Josh Giddey. These aren't the guys on the level of Franz Wagner where they're moving your roster. They're just guys. Like, they're guys. They're good. They're nice to have. They're cool. They're young. They might have potential, but I don't think anyone sees them as franchise players. And I think that's why they're struggling to get 30 million. Because right now, it seems like you see a couple of years ago when Mikal Bridges went for like 5-6 first-round picks.
Yes.
And you seen like just a few weeks ago that Desmond Bane went for like 4 first-round picks in a swap.
Sure.
We just seen Norman Powell get traded for a second-round pick. Just dumped. We seen John Collins go. These guys are way more John Collins, Norman Powell than they are Desmond Bane. You know what I mean? I don't think if the Knicks can do that Mikal Bridges thing again, I don't think they're giving up 5 first-round picks for him.
Yeah,
for real.
5. They would still go get him though.
Like shit, the Nets were looking for 2 first-round picks for Cam Johnson. They settled for 1 and a bad contract. Market's changing, so I think that these guys.
It's not changing. It is completely different, Penn.
No,
this apron shit, it didn't changed up everything. Players just aren't worth it anymore. They're just not. Jonathan Kuminga, 3 years ago, he would have had this bread from somebody.
But I'm gonna say this: I believe in Jonathan Kuminga.
We may get a lockout.
I don't know why. I don't know why I believe in him.
I would not be surprised if we didn't get a lockout in 2029 because this deal.
Oh, for sure.
Damn. I don't. You know what though, Penn? Because it's just hard for me. And I know Mar says he likes to just talk about the ball, kind of keep the business out, and I'm kind of like that too because it's weird for me when I see like 30, you don't want 30, but then when you say only 17, like I'm not rich. You know what I'm saying? So when I hear that, I'm just like, it's 17 million, $18 million. It's a lot of money. It's hard for me to like put it in the context like they're giving people $70 million a year.
Think about it as a fair deal, Ox. Like let's take the size of the contract off the table as opposed to a fair deal. Yeah. So if I'm a player in the league, and I know we got to move on, Ron. I do know that we got to move on, but a fair deal is what the market means. What a guy that's playing at the level that I play. That's a fair deal for me, as opposed to okay, you're lowballing me because you don't want to pay me. That's unfair. Yeah. Right. So I feel like a lot of these times, like what's going on with Kuminga, what's his market? Like Kuminga, we are we paying him more potential? Okay, he's been with Golden State for 4 years now. What's the market for Kuminga? Is he a $35 million guy? I don't know.
Part of your salary is like who you bringing in. Now, I don't know who said it. I'm forgetting right now. I think it was Magic Johnson. He said the only superstars in the league are the people who can sell out the rival arena. Right. So there's money involved here, right? There's audience involved. There's a business involved. There's owners selling for $10 billion. These players, it's built on their backs. They're the ones advancing the game and popularizing the game. I don't know any kid out there in the playground practicing to be Genie Bus. I see them practicing to be LeBron
because business is big, business is big.
So being rich and being born into it, that's cool. That's cool. So what I'm saying is like these players are driving a lot of value. Historically, though, the Timothy Mozgovs were getting paid. The Alan Krabs were getting paid. Those dudes were getting paid. I feel like this deal, the way they've set up their restriction things, is they're only paying the top guys. And depending on how you think about it, that's probably how it should be. Because those are guys bringing in like 95% of the value. I'm gonna be honest. If Paolo and Franz not playing, I'm not really watching that game. I'm pissed off. If I bought tickets to go to that game to watch the Orlando Magic, I'm watching those two dudes.
Yeah.
I'm not
You mad
sitting there
if either
watching
one of them's
Wendell
out
Carter.
though, Penn?
For real, yeah.
I'm not. If I
No,
go
I'm
see
saying
Paolo and Franz isn't
But that's
playing,
why they
that's
paid.
good basketball.
But that's why
Ox,
they're paid, though.
if they pull up to Portland and you find out before the game that Franz isn't playing, you're gonna be like, damn, yeah, Paulo's still playing. I still get Desmond Bain, but god damn,
I'm gonna be it's
You
gonna be
know,
the opposite. I'm gonna be like, damn, I wish Franz was playing, but shit, I get to watch some good basketball. That's me. You already I told you about what happened when I went to go watch the Clippers play and nobody played. Dame didn't even play. But you know what happened? Norman Powell and Jeremy Grant put on a show. I was like, this is
yeah, I know. You go see some good basketball. I know I'm gonna be tight.
Yeah. Of course, Ron. We spent a lot of money. It was the whole family. We all went. We spent a lot of
I'm
money.
not really talking about us. I'm talking about like the
thing,
casual fan.
I just want
Man,
to
I
say,
seen the pictures. Y'all ain't spend no money on them cheap ass tickets.
Bro, shut the hell up.
come on,
I'm telling you. When I see this dude.
Only time I ain't have some good seats was when I went to go watch the Kings play first round of the playoffs. I was in the third
You
round.
spend money on concessions with your greedy ass.
But
That's
what
it.
I'm saying though, I just want to say real quick, because sometimes I like to.
Where,
I
Rod?
I like
You know his big ass eating in the arena.
Oh, I'll be tearing shit up for sure. but real quick though, because I like to talk to the people that are watching. I like to talk to the kids that are watching. Basketball and sports in general is big business. And you don't have to be on the court or the field to get paid. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of avenues to get paid in sports. You know what I'm saying? Study that. If you're not an athlete, if you're not fast, you're not big, you're not strong, you can still get paid in sports. You know what I'm saying? And just do it the right way. You know what I'm saying? Study the books, study the game, do your thing. You could get money in here. You know what I mean? It's okay if you're on the playground, you're like, I want to be the next Jeannie Buss. I want to be the next anybody. I want to be the next this coach, this executive. It's out there and it's money for you. You don't got to be on the field. You don't got to be on the court to get that money. It's there.
Yeah.
Nah, you don't want to model yourself after Jeannie Buss. You want to model yourself after Masai Ujiri.
That's fine.
Even if that's true though, Penn.
And Sam Presti.
Even if that's true though, Penn, I do want to be that though. Like I don't want.
You want to be Jeannie Buss?
I don't want to be Scotty Barnes. I want to be the dude paying.
What's the problem with Jeannie Buss? Because she was born into money, Penn. I think
aim for that.
I think we're too advanced in life and too advanced in just our everything. We're too advanced to be like, oh man, I hate the kid that has a silver spoon in his mouth.
I don't hate her.
You know what I'm saying? That's okay. If you were born into it, that's cool. But you can work, you could grind, you could get there. You don't have to shoot a jump shot to get paid, y'all.
Yeah.
All right, y'all.
Yeah.
We gonna move on. My man Terry Lane became a member. Shout out to Terry Lane. And then he followed up becoming a member by sending through a super chat. And he said, I just started watching y'all boys, and I can't lie. Y'all got something special going on right now. But I gotta see y'all do an all-decade team, first and second team. So Ox won't be offended?
I don't hate that. We sort of remember they did the all-decade team from 2010 to 2019, like with Brian and Paul George. That'd be dope to do something like that. I mean, we're only halfway through the decade, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say for this decade.
Yeah, we're only halfway through the decade.
Angel Reese on my
we got 5
all-decade
years of
team.
it.
Mm-hmm.
It would be what? Right now, it'd be
two-time All-Star
Luka, Shea, Tatum, Giannis, Jokic. Right?
I like the fact that you wanted.
Maybe you can guess. Maybe Steph's in there.
For some decades, we might got to get a fourth team in there. You know what I'm saying?
From 2020 to 2025, who are the 15 best players?
From 20 to 25, you said?
Wait, so are we doing a lot of all NBA teams where it's positionless, or are we doing point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward?
We should do positionless.
I
think it got to be positionless because
you
the
think
reason
so?
why I'm saying that,
hey man, I'm getting Embiid in there one way or another.
Got switched to positionless. All NBA teams now are positionless. On top of that, we having trouble trying to figure out what James Harden is. Like that's what it is with everything.
He's a point guard.
Okay.
Now he plays point guard. Yeah, now he is.
But this is what I'm saying though. Is Jason Tatum a small forward or is he a power forward?
He plays the point forward. He plays the four.
Oh, he's a point forward? You see?
He is a point forward. He did a lot of initiation this past year.
Which, by the way, was the three.
What's Scotty
Just
Barnes?
so we clear.
What's Scotty
He's
Barnes?
a point forward.
I think positions are outdated at this point. Personally,
I think so too.
But Mars,
I just go by whatever you're listed out on Basketball Reference. That's your position, but I don't care. Like,
okay, but
wherever you're listed at, that's what I'm going.
Can't you do guard, wing, big?
You can, we could do that. But are bigs power forwards and centers or just centers?
What position does Jokic play for real?
So Giannis is what?
I think Giannis is a
Oh,
big.
see, that's hard. Okay.
He's a
Yeah, I
point
think
forward
Giannis-
too.
I think Giannis is a big. I think Anthony Davis is a
Can
big.
we just
I think
create a
Bam
new?
is a
Can we
big.
create a new position for all these jumbo creators and just call it the jumbo creator? Like literally, just
That's not a position. That's an
it-
archetype.
it is an archetype as well as it is a position because you have the responsibilities of both a wing and a guard,
Mhm.
a lead guard.
So Magic
Well-
Johnson is no longer a point guard; he's a jumbo creator.
Yo,
So an
here-
all-time
here's
point
what
guard
here's
list, he just
here's
comes
what
off.
I'm saying.
Yes,
Who,
that's exactly what you're
whatever side
He's
whatever side of
6'9".
this debate you fall on, who's the greatest point guard of all time? I guarantee you, it's not a typical point guard. Okay, unless you're Chilltown Hoops, in which case maybe it is. I don't know. John Stockton might be
Yeah,
higher on your
shout
list
out to
than
Johnny, man.
than I know. But whether you say Steph, that's not a typical point guard. I'm sorry, that's not how point guard is supposed to play. Draymond has been largely the point guard of the Golden State Warriors for a long time, and Andre Iguodala did a lot of that. Sean Livingston did a lot of that. They've had a lot of secondary,
Steph did a lot of
tertiary.
that, yeah,
Steph
did a
did
lot.
some too, but it's not John Stockton. It's not Jalen Brunson pound basketball. There's a lot of
Mhm.
off-ball stuff. We're not used to seeing point guards do that. And it's the same thing with Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson was not a typical point guard at all. So what does it say about a position if the two best players who ever played the position were basically nothing like how you define the position? I'm sorry, Tyus Jones, Mike Conley. That's what we define as a point guard, pure point guard, whatever the hell you want to call it.
Well, I
Chris
think
Paul
that's
might be the best pure point guard in that typical sense in NBA history because he's typical.
So, well, Jokic isn't a typical center, but like that's
Yeah.
my issue is when people attribute a style of play to a position. I just think a position is just what you're listed at. A style of play is just how you play. If you're a point guard and you play like Steph Curry, but you're listed at point guard, you're still a point guard. And if you're a point guard who plays like Tyus Jones, you're still a point guard. Both of you guys play the same position, you just play it differently. Tim Duncan was listed at center for more of his career than power forward, but yet he's still listed as a power forward on most all-time lists, which I have no problem with because he peaked as a power forward. But like, there's no difference in the way he was deployed. He still played like Tim Duncan. Giannis is listed as a power forward, but if Giannis moves to the 5 next year, I have no problem just saying, oh yeah, Giannis is a center now. He hasn't changed, but he still does. He does what he does. Positions are just whatever you're listed at, so that when it's on the box score, they have something to put next to your name.
No,
Like,
Mars, I don't buy
That's
that.
all
The
it
reason why-
is. Like,
casual,
I've
bro.
gone back and watched enough games from 1964. It wasn't called point guard, shooting guard, small forward. They just had guards, forward, center.
Right,
That's
and
what they
just-
had.
and
And then they
so-
changed it so that they could have a label. Like, that's it. It's a label.
And
It's
the
not
reason-
a definition.
Well, see, that's the thing, Mars. The reason why they changed it was because the responsibility was different. The reason why the point guard was the point guard because he couldn't shoot like the shooting guard, and the reason why the shooting guard was the shooting guard because he couldn't dribble
In
like the point
theory,
guard.
but that's not true
Well-
because Jerry West was the best passer and shooter on his team.
Okay, and then but Gail Goodrich didn't shoot like Jerry West did. I mean, Gail Goodrich couldn't handle like Jerry West did. That's why he played off the ball, and Jerry West
Okay.
had the ball more in his hands. But when
Kyrie
I'm-
played next to Luka. Kyrie's a better ball handler than Luka, but Luka's the point guard now. Kyrie's the 2 guard, and then Luka leaves, and then Kyrie's a point guard again.
But Kyrie
Kyrie
shoots better
hasn't
than Luka.
changed.
That's the
Kyrie's the
difference,
same
though.
person.
But
My
Kyrie
point
shoots-
is, Kyrie has gone from point guard to shooting guard based on who he's around. Kyrie's position has changed because he's played next to James Harden. So now he plays next to James Harden. James Harden's the point guard. Kyrie's the 2 guard. He plays next to Luka. Luka's the point guard. Kyrie's the 2 guard. Luka leaves and now Kyrie's a point guard again. Kyrie hasn't changed. His just position on the box score has changed. There's games even this year when Luka's not there. They have Dante Exum as the point guard and Kyrie as the 2 guard. I guarantee you watch that game. Kyrie had the ball more than Dante Exum. It's just whatever they list you at. A position is not a definition. Oh, if you play the 2 guard, you have to do this. No, that's just what you're listed at so that people have a reference point. That's it. There's no definition of if you play the 2, you have to be able to shoot. Because I'm watching Dwayne Wade be one of the 5 best 2 guards ever, and he had no 3-point shot to allude to. But he's not a worse 2 guard than Reggie
But
Miller.
just because I
We
can't
all
shoot-
know that.
Well, wait a
D
minute,
Wade
though.
was more of a point guard than a 2 guard typically.
No,
Because he was someone who
that's not
handled
it,
the ball,
Mars, because
he
just
ran
because
pick
I
and
can't-
rolls, he did all of that initiation. You look at 09 Dwayne Wade, he practically played point guard.
Wait a minute,
You look
though,
at the
Mars,
Heat
that's-
teams with Mario
But
Chalmers.
he did-
Mario Chalmers isn't more of a point guard than Dwayne Wade. He's not. But Mario Chalmers was listed as
Yes,
a point
he
guard, and
is.
Dwayne Wade
You
was
are
listed as a
what you
2
guard.
guard.
100% he is. Just like just
How
like
is Mario Chalmers more of a point guard for that Heat team?
because he
You
couldn't
are
shoot-
what you
because he-
guard, Mars. That's what Larry Brown said.
But then
You
Steph
are
Curry's
what
a
you
small
guard.
forward. Because
No,
Steph Curry
Mars,
just guards the
that's
weakest
not
offensive
what
player.
Steph Curry
Steph
is.
Curry
And
would just
number
guard
two,
the weakest offensive player. He
the-
plays
the-
against the Rockets. He's guarding PJ Tucker in
Here's
the
the problem
corner.
that I'm
So he's a
having with your
power
logic,
forward
Mars.
for that
What
series.
you're doing, Mars, is that you're taking away the responsibility of a person. You're just putting these dudes out as basketball players.
Yes,
As a
that's what
power
I'm doing.
forward-
Absolutely,
No,
yes.
and as a power forward, I do have a job to do. And my
Yeah,
job
play
is different.
basketball. That's your job.
No, that's not it, Mars. That's what the problem lies.
That's
That's
the
exactly
old way
your
of
job.
thinking.
Go
No,
ahead.
Mars, chill. Mars.
Kevin Durant
started by saying-
plays the 4. Is his job the same as LeBron James, who also plays the 4? Is his job the same as Jason
know what his
Tatum,
job
who
is?
also
No, his
plays the
job
4?
isn't the
Is his
same.
job the same as Giannis, who also plays the 4?
but his
Is his job the same as
the
Paolo,
five.
who also
Why?
plays the
His job
4?
isn't the same as Zubac's job. His job isn't the same as Anthony Davis's job. His job isn't the
On
same
some
as
teams it
Luka's
is.
jobs.
Can we
On
just
some
do
teams
away
it
with
is.
positions?
And
Can we
if
just be
it
done
is,
with
then that's what
this?
he's listed as.
Can we just
And that's
finish
the point.
positions? This was positions were introduced for casual fans to follow the game. Anyone who actually sees the game being played out understands that Bill Russell did not play the same position as Will Chamberlain, did not play this. We could see that Jerry West played 2, played 1. It didn't functionally change in the years where he was listed as 2 and the years where he was listed as 1. Still a great player, still a great passer, still doing a lot of the same stuff. Okay, so I think the way basketball is being played today, more so than ever, it's just 5 dudes. It's 5 dudes, and they're constantly switching places. If I told you Miles Turner was the 3 and Aaron Nesmith was a stretch 5 and Pascal Siakam was the point guard and Tyrese Halliburton was the 2, it really don't matter, because last I checked, Tyrese Halliburton ain't guarding ones, so Larry Brown's logic is in the toilet. Typically Tyrese Halliburton doing the same thing, kind of guarding the weakest guy. It's Andrew Nembhard who's playing the 2, even though he's a point guard and he's been a point guard forever, and he can easily, step in, and he will step in this year as a point guard. I'm just saying, it's 5 guys. It's 5 guys. It's pick up runs, bro. This is all it is.
And if we do that, though, Penn, then what we're doing is that we're suggesting that everybody on the floor is basically equal, and everybody on the floor has a very similar skill set, which is not true. Not all of these dudes do.
No,
No,
he's
that's not what
he's
we're
saying your
saying.
skill set isn't limited to a position. That's what he's saying.
Actually,
if
yes.
if you're a center and you can pass like Jokic, you're still a center. And if you're a
Okay.
2 guard who can't shoot, you're still a 2 guard.
Right.
That's what he's saying.
But
your,
if I'm a-
your position is your skill set isn't
Let me
limited
give-
to your
let me
position.
give
And
you
I
the
do
future-
understand
let me give
that
you the
part,
future
Mars.
basketball show. 5 LeBron James. That's the future. 5 LeBron James. 1 short LeBron
I
James.
wish.
1 tall LeBron
Chill,
James.
you agree
1
with
kind
this,
of
though?
chubby LeBron James.
I think it's
That's the goal.
Penn,
Dribble,
Chill agrees
pass,
with
shoot.
this. You said the future of the NBA is a bunch of Wimbies running around.
I do think
Chill,
that.
like we gotta. 5 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to adapt this, and it would have been me and you up here fighting Mars and Penn tooth and nail. Chill, we gotta do away with the old way of thinking. Positions have now dissolved into everybody doing multiple things. You just play to your skill set. Now,
Sure.
I do get it. Like Mario Chalmers was the point guard of that team, but Mars is right.
LeBron
really
and D
wasn't.
Wade were the point guards.
Like traditionally, you did have positions where you had your small forward and shooting guard doing off-ball things, and you had your point guard creating and setting up. That has went away. Chill. You now have primary ball handlers and you got off-ball players.
But not all.
But
of
you
these
got
guys-
you got
I get it.
you got
I
it.
got you. You got it.
like I feel you. Chill. I kind of hate it
Because
too.
what you guys are trying to suggest to me is that all we do is we got 5 guys on the floor, and with these 5 guys on the floor, all of you guys, there's really nobody who does anything specific. All of you guys do the same thing,
Whoa.
and you might do it
How
better.
is that what you're? No, I'm sorry, I don't
That's
want to
not
get
what
angry at
you might.
How is that
do
what
this-
you're understanding when no
you-
one's saying that? No one
Because
is
we're taking the
if you're-
positions out.
If
Because
you're
I
the
got
best
time.
rebounder on the team
Then
and
you
you're
play
the
the floor.
power forward,
That's what
then
you
you're the
do.
best rebounder on the team and
But
you're the
you
power
don't
forward.
pass
If
like
you're
the
the best
leagues are.
rebounder on the
But
team
what
and
you
you're the
want me to
center,
do?
then you're the best rebounder on the team and you're a center. The point guard doesn't have to be the best rebounder on the team. If they are, then that's what they are. Oh well, move on. What we are saying is that your best skill set doesn't define your position. If you are the best passer on the team, that does not mean that now you are the point guard. Nikola Jokic is the
Why?
Nuggets' best passer. That does not now mean that he's not a center. Nikola Jokic, if he was a worse rebounder, does not mean he's not a center. He's a bad rim protector. He's still a center. Jaren Jackson is a power forward who doesn't rebound. It doesn't matter what your skill set is. All that matters is that you have a nice little position and your skill set is maximized on the court. If you're a point guard like Steph Curry and you're better without the ball than you are with the ball, you're still listed as our point guard. But guess what? We're going to get a power forward in there who's not a typical power forward, but he can initiate offense and run stuff for us. So while we maximize you off the ball, that does not mean Steph's not a point guard. That does not mean Draymond's not a power forward. It just means they have skill sets that determine what they do on the court. If you have a skill set that means you should have the ball running pick and rolls, then you're going to be on the court running pick and rolls. That does not mean you're a point guard or a 2 guard or a small forward or whatever the case may be. If you watch the Heatles with Dwayne Wade and LeBron James and you try and suggest to me that Mario Chalmers was the point guard of that team and not Dwayne Wade or LeBron James, you're a liar. I'm watching Mario Chalmers not bring the ball up the court, stand in the corner and get ready to shoot a spot up three. Dwayne Wade and LeBron James are bringing the ball up every single time. So you go ahead and tell me what was Mario Chalmers' skill set that he made him a point guard. What was the reason Mario Chalmers was a point guard on that team? Enlighten me. What am I missing that Mario Chalmers was doing that says, yeah, he's the point guard and LeBron James is the power forward? Because even then, he wasn't a small forward on the Heat because they moved Chris Bosh to the 5 and played LeBron at the 4. So LeBron wasn't even a small forward, which you would classify him as. So what made LeBron not the point guard, not the small forward, made him the power forward on that team, and what made Mario Chalmers the point guard? Enlighten me. Let me know.
So first of all, the offense was different. But let's go back to your. But if you want to stay here, first of all, the offense was different. The ball moved a lot more. With the ball moving a lot more, there wasn't anything defined as a specific point guard. However, with Mario Chalmers, he did handle the basketball a lot. He did initiate offense with Dwayne Wade. He was, I'm not going to say the better ball handler, but he was a ball handler. But to your point, if Joker is the best passer on the team, he might not be the best ball handler on the team. That's why I got the lead guard, which goes back to my original logic when I told you that I handle the ball better, you shoot the ball better. You're the biggest guy, not the biggest guy. You're the best passer on the team. You're the 5-man. We run the offense through you. Jamal Murray is the primary ball handler. You are the guy who initiates.
Steph handles the ball better and shoots the ball better than everyone on his team, and you won't call him a point guard.
I didn't say that he wasn't a lead guard.
Yes, you have. You've done it for years. Steph Curry handles the ball better than everyone on the Warriors. He shoots the ball better than everyone on the.
And
you don't call him a point guard.
I call him a combo guard because he does.
So who's the Warriors' point guard? They haven't had one for a decade.
I thought that Draymond Green was the one who initiated.
Does he handle the ball better than Steph?
No, he does not handle the ball better than Steph, but he does initiate offense. So the
Warriors don't have a power forward.
Wait. Don't do that. Don't do that with me, Moss. Do not do that with me. The reason why I don't do that with me because Jamal Murray doesn't pass like Joker. That doesn't mean that doesn't mean that Joker is the point guard.
Yeah, but you said he handles better. That's what you said. But Steph does both better.
I said Jamal Murray handles better.
Yeah, Jamal Murray handles better, and I'm saying Steph handles better.
He handles
but
better.
But he's not the point guard to you.
I said that he's the combo guard. He does both of those things.
He's not a point. That's not a position. A point guard, the positions are point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center. Combo guard is not a position. Find me on anyone's basketball reference page where it says CG. Find me anyone's basketball reference page where it says CG. Combo guard doesn't exist. That's not a position.
However, he can play the point guard, but he doesn't primarily play the point guard. And because of the Golden State.
So where does he primarily play?
He primarily plays. That's what he plays. He plays off the ball and he plays on the ball. That's why he's a combo guard.
So where does he play primarily? You said he doesn't primarily play on the ball. So where does he primarily play?
Can't you fall between two positions? Can't you be a combo forward?
That's not a position.
I don't care about basketball reference. I don't.
But that's my point. Chill's harping on the positions, and in his whole argument about these positions means something. He's making up new positions that don't exist.
I'm not making up any positions. I'm still
combo guard is not a position.
But it is.
Why isn't it?
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Yes, no NBA player in history is listed as a combo guard. Your own definition of positions, you're changing and adding new positions to try and quantify it.
Okay, hold on, Mars.
Hold on, Pen.
You're quantifying archetypes and positions.
If I am a combo guard, that means that I can play the point guard and I can play the two guard.
Yeah, that means you can play point and shooting guard. That's not a position.
Which is what Steph Curry did. And that goes back to what kind of offense that they had.
You're making my point. You're saying a combo guard can play point guard and shooting guard. You're saying they can play two positions, but I'm saying combo guard isn't a position. That's what I'm saying.
And I'm not saying that it is a position neither. What I'm saying is that a guy who plays a guy who is.
So what position is Steph?
What you're trying to do is you're trying to twist words. A combo guard.
I'm repeating your words back to you.
No, first of all, a combo guard is a guy who can play both positions.
Yes, and I'm saying yes, but I'm saying it's not a position.
And now what that is, that's conducive to the offense. If the offense is where we can have you at the two guard, we'll have you at the two guard. But if the offense is where we can have you at the point guard, we'll have you at the point guard. Mark Jackson did that when he had him primarily on the basketball, where he was the point guard. Okay. But then when he got with Steve Kerr and the ball moved more, well, he was off the ball a little bit more, which meant that he can play the two guard. Hence, combo guard. When John Stockton played with the Utah Jazz,
you're making my point.
No, I'm not making your point.
You are making my point.
No, I'm not making your point because what I'm doing is I'm making it clear that John Stockton, when he played with Karl Malone, he had the basketball. With him having the basketball, they ran the offense through Malone, who scored the most on the box, on the box, in the mid range. I'm the best passer, right? I'm the best ball handler. I'm the best passer. I'm the best ball handler, but I'm not the best shooter, which means that I'm not going to play the two guard. That's what Jeff Hornacek was here for. That's what Jeff Malone was here for. So we got guys who define positions. We got guys where we define positions and they have responsibilities. What you want to do is you want to take all of that away and just put guys on the floor.
You're making my point about archetypes. Your combo guard point is making my point about archetypes. Steph Curry is listed at the point guard, but because he can do multiple things, he can play on and off the ball, you're calling him a combo guard. I know what a combo guard is. You're saying he can do the things of a point guard and he does the things of a two guard. Yes, but what that means is that's not a position, like I'm saying, that's an archetype. When I'm making this whole point about positions, I'm saying the position is a label. What you do on the court is what you do, and that's point forwards. Point forwards are big jumbo creators who can initiate offense for you. LeBron James is a point forward. Giannis at this point might be considered a point forward. That's not a position, that's an archetype. What I'm saying is archetypes mean more than positions when defining how a player plays. The point guard position isn't a definition of how someone plays. The archetype is, you got the John Stockton archetype, you've got the Damian Lillard, Gilbert Arenas archetype, and then you've got whatever other archetypes you want to throw out there. All of them fall under the same term of point guard. The point guard is the umbrella term. Then you've got the archetypes that are the sub-terms below that. That's all I'm saying. The point guard position is not a definition. There's not, the point guard does this. No. The shooting guard does this. No. The point guard is whatever you are listed as, and then your archetype is what you do. The John Stockton archetype is the playmaker, the one who initiates all the actions. That's his archetype. Then you've got the Steph Curry point guard archetype that does what Steph Curry does. Then you've got the Mark Price archetype that is more scoring aggressive than John Stockton, but he can also initiate. That's that archetype. Then you've got the two guards. You've got the off-ball two guards, the Reggie Millers, the Boston Ray Allen, the Klay Thompsons. Then you've got the combo two guards, the ones who can initiate offense, but also can play off the ball, the Kobe Bryants, the MJs. Then you've got the more ball dominant two guards, the Dwayne Wades, the James Hardens. All of them are shooting guards, but their archetypes are different. Then you've got the small forwards. You've got the James Worthy archetype. Then you've got the LeBron James archetype. Then you've got the Kevin Durant archetype. Then you've got like the Scottie Pippen archetype, which might fall closer to the LeBron James side, but however you want to decipher it. Then you've got power forwards. You've got the other power forwards like Dirk Nowitzki. He's a completely different archetype as a power forward to Tim Duncan, but they're both power forwards. Then you've got centers. You've got Jokic, Bill Walton. They're a completely different archetype of a center than Kareem, Hakeem, etc. Then you've got Ben Wallace and Rudy Gobert, who are a completely different archetype to Domantas Sabonis. Completely different archetypes. All of them are centers. My point is, positions are overarching. That's just what you are listed as. The archetypes are how you play. The archetypes mean more than your position when we define what a player is. That's why you got combo guards, all of that stuff. I'm not going to repeat it again. That's it. If you disagree with that, then you're just disagreeing with me to disagree.
Hold on, Mark.
Right quick, Pin. Quick, Pin. I do just want to add some historical context into this whole thing as to why I believe positions are outdated. Remember, in the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, chill, you can get mad if you want to. It's not the same game. You gotta switch up, OG. It's not the same. Back in the day, the reasons why positions were so useful, because the point guard was the shortest person on the floor. The shooting guard was the next tallest person on the floor. Steve Kerr, 6'2", if you will. Jordan, 6'6". Scottie Pippen, 6'8". Horace Grant, the power forward, he was the next tallest person, 6'10". Then you had your center, Luke Longley. He was 7 foot. It also went by heights. That's not the case anymore. That's why Magic Johnson was such an anomaly. That's why we were because he was a 6'9" point guard. That's why we were so enamored with Ben Wallace, because he was a shorter center who could still hold his own. Positions were particularly by your size. Nowadays, it doesn't matter. You're going to put your bet, no matter how tall they are, Luka, Shea, LaMelo, you're going to put your best ball handlers, shooter, scorer, passer, whoever fits that whole build as your point guard. You got tall point guards now. But then you'll also have your Case and Wallace's who are
point
small
guards
shooting
30
guards.
years ago. Michael
Ray
Richardson,
I know.
6'6".
I just said that, chill, but that was an anomaly. Today, now, you chill. How many 6'2" point? We just heard LeBron and KD just say it. The small guard is being ruled out of the game because you're going with all of these tall guys. You got centers now. Chet Holmgren in the 2000s, it's no way he will be a power forward. You're going to be a center, and if you can't handle center duties, then you're going to just get played out of the
First
league.
of all, why
He
you
would
guys
be a
talking to me
small
like
forward.
the game is passing me by? I know what
Chet
the
Holmgren
game
would
is
not
today.
be a small forward.
I know exactly.
I'll
what
remind
the
you,
game is.
Kevin Garnett came
What
into the league as a
doing?
small forward. Dirk Nowitzki came into the league as a small
And what
forward.
did he end up
If
playing?
you
Ben?
190,
And what
you're
did he
not
end
a
up
power
playing?
forward in the.
Okay, and that's
Come
my
on,
point.
man.
I don't know what
If
the
you
game
can't
is.
play that, if you can't play that,
I know what
if
the
you
game
can't play that
is.
position, you're gonna find yourself out the league. Chet Holmgren would not. He would be a center
This
in the
different
90s.
thinking this
Chet
different
Holmgren
thinking
would be a
is-
center in the 2000s.
No, he wouldn't.
Yeah.
And on top of that, he wouldn't. He might stretch the floor a little bit, but you're not going to be stretching the floor like
What
that.
position?
The
What
point I'm
position
trying to
did
make-
Jonathan
the
Bender
point-
play?
The point I'm trying to make, Penn, the point I'm trying to make, Penn, is the point I'm trying to make is today you're able to do all these different type of things. Back in the day, you're playing into a role that you got to play at your size and at your position. Today, it's not like that. You can be a center shooting 7 threes a game. You can be a small guard that sits in the corner and catches
do we take the responsibility, like you just said, Ron? Okay, so all of these things that you know how to do. I know we got to get to super chats like now. But
no,
do
we good. We got a few more minutes.
Do we take the responsibility of, like, to your point, Mars, what the position is, right? So do we take that responsibility away and just, like, for example, a center? My job as a 5-man is to protect the rim. My job as a 5-man is to rebound. Do we take that away? And now I got 5 guys on the floor who also do that.
Jalen
now-
Suggs protects the rim.
Right.
Dwayne
That's what
Wade
teams are
protected the
trying to
rim.
do.
So,
That's
so,
what
so
J-Dub
now,
Messi are
because
trying to
I
do.
want to make
That's
sure that
what
I'm
Chris are
following
trying
you
to do.
dudes, right? I want to make sure that I'm following you
Jokic
dudes.
does not.
Because I got a big man, right? I got a big man who passes like a lead guard. Okay, so now I'm giving him that responsibility in addition to giving it to my point guard. I'm giving him more responsibility. So what do I do in terms of responsibility for my big guy? What the question that I'm asking is do I take the responsibility of the center away?
Depends on his skill set.
Okay, that's
it.
I just
If
wanna make sure that
if a center can protect the rim, then you ask him to do it. If he can't, then you have to find guys who can. Every team is trying to fill up the bottle to 100%. They want to fill up the rim protection bottle, the playmaking bottle, the shooting bottle, etc. If they have the shooting bottle filled up with their shooting guards, then they don't need to prioritize that elsewhere. If they don't have the rim protection bottle filled up with their center, then they have to find the rim protection elsewhere, whether that's with the power forward, whether that's with the small forward, whatever the case. And some teams are trying to get rim protection at every position. You look at OKC, Shea can protect the rim, Lou Dort can protect the rim, JDUB can protect the rim, Chet can protect the rim, Isaiah Hartenstein can protect the rim. They're trying to make sure that everywhere you go, you have someone who can change shots at the rim. Now, does that mean all of them can anchor the defense? No, because you do need someone who's big in the middle. That's why you're never going to see a league that has a bunch of 6'5" guys. A bunch of 6'5" guys like playing all 5 positions. We saw the Rockets experiment with that in the bubble, but that's why that's not going to happen. So you need those skill sets. You need the rim protection. You need rebounding. You need shooting. You need guys who can play on the ball. You need guys who can play off the ball. But you don't need that to be your point guard who does the initiating. It doesn't need to be him. It just needs to be on the team. That's all I'm saying. You need these skill sets, but it doesn't have to be my center has to rim protect. No, he doesn't. My center has to rebound. No, he doesn't.
Okay,
We're watching that with Jaren Jackson. He doesn't need to be the one rebounding as long as Zach Edey is the one rebound. Like, as long as someone's doing
Mars, I got the perfect question for you. Okay, imagine you got 5 guys, right? You got 5 guys that are completely neutral players. Like they're the most average passer, the most average shooter. And you fill the bottle, right?
Okay.
Let's say everyone is 70 at everything. Right? Let's play 10 this is 2K. And you got 30 points you could assign to one player for shot blocking. Where are you assigning that shot blocking?
The tallest player.
Okay, great. Where are you assigning the shooting? Now, this is a tricky question.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. Ideally, I'd assign that to the tallest player too.
Bingo.
I'm going to be honest.
And so that's the point. We are we're not completely doing away with positions, but I don't see how positions add any value to my understanding of the game. If I was a coach, I would be literally saying you point forward, you a combo guard, you 3 and D. I would be talking about archetypes 100%. I don't even give a shit about your position. Who you're guarding, that's your matchup. So the position doesn't matter all that much to me. But ultimately, what I would do is I would do as much for the tallest and biggest advantage generator on my team. And at the lower levels, it's usually the tallest player. I'm be honest. If I got Ox on my team and he can pass a little bit and he can score, sorry, y'all. We're running the offense through Ox. We run in the offense through the post.
Great choice.
There you go. Right. So I don't know. Like, I think the game has evolved so beautifully in a like really great way, but the casual fan is still stuck debating positions. Like,
you're not the casual. Yeah, you're not the casual.
No, I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about you, Cho. I'm not talking about you, Cho. I'm talking about like the casual fan saying, you know, this guy is a center and he doesn't do what I want my center to do. This guy is a point guard, but he don't pass enough. He's shooting too much. Like, bro, like offense is a team thing. Basketball is a team thing. We score as a team. It doesn't matter if I set the screen or if I do the cut or I don't like. This is what the same thing I was having a conversation on my channel about spacing. It's like, yo, does it matter to me how you got space? Does it matter to me if you Joe Mazzulla the shit out of this and space 5 out and everyone just jacks up threes, or you get threes to off-ball motion like the beautiful game Spurs, or you setting screens like Draymond and running in transition like Tyrese Halliburton? I don't care how you get space. Get open shots. Get open shots whatever way you can. And I don't care if Tyrese Halliburton scores 30 or if Tyrese Halliburton scores 8. How are the Pacers doing? That's all I care about. So basketball is a team game. It's 5 dudes playing basketball, doing things on the court. I value people who can do stuff. I want my guards to be able to set screens. It's valuable. I want my guards to be able to block shots. It's valuable. Yeah, I don't want a big. If I could build a perfect basketball player, trust me, they do not have Nikola Jokic's shot blocking metrics. But I'm not going to define Nikola Jokic as not being a great player. I mean, chill. Think about where we're at right now. Imagine it's the 90s. Imagine it's the 80s right now. And I told you the best center in the league is not a good shot blocker, and the best point guard in the league just led the league in scoring. I think your head might explode because that's not how it's supposed to be. But that's the way it is. The 2 best players are literally.
I know we got to move on, Ron. I just don't like this. Like my thinking is outdated. No, it's not.
It's not about being outdated.
I know how good players are. I know what positions mean. But I do know that for a fact, and I got what Mars said, and we got to move on. I get it. So I understand that this is the game, and this is we're moving forward with the game. 1 or 2 things happen: adapt or die. It's that simple. You either get with the times or you get ran over. It's really that simple. So if this is what the game is today, we're going positionless, and this is what guys are. That's what it is. Let's go, Ron.
Yeah, chill. And I still don't even know what this really looks like. I don't know what this means for the game. I don't know what this means.
I know what it looks like, Ron. It looks like Jokic, Giannis, Anthony Davis, all 5 of them dudes is first team All-NBA. Like, gone are the days of Damian Lillard and John Stockton and Kyrie Irving and guys like that. Those days are over.
Chill.
But it's a will, though, chill. It's a will.
I get it.
Point guards dominate college basketball, right?
Like the league doesn't change for good. And Victor Wembanyama's don't grow on. Victor Wembanyama's don't grow on trees. Jokic don't grow on trees. A lot of these dudes are anomalies, and I know we never really got into it, but I was trying to say this to you like earlier in the season, like because you were saying the future is Victor Wembanyama's. That's not possible. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not possible. You can train. Like, trainers can grab these tall kids and all that and work with them since they're 7 years old. That doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? If you don't got that, you're not gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? Most people that are my size and taller can't hardly run and chew gum at the same time. You know what I'm saying? It's like a lot of these big dudes that are in NBA. When you see a big guy outside walking around, he's clumsy. You know what I'm saying? Most people aren't like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's not. This isn't the norm. Jokic isn't the norm. Victor Wembanyama isn't the norm. Chet isn't the norm. These dudes, it's a wheel. The point guard's coming back. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not gonna just the NBA doesn't just change one day and stay that way. You know what I'm saying? These guys do not grow on trees, and you're not just gonna find enough of them to every team can have 2. You know what I'm saying? Like LeBron, we still ain't seen another Bron. He's been around longer than Mars been around. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? Like, that's just what it is. Today isn't gonna be tomorrow.
All right, y'all. It's crunch time, chats time. Appreciate everybody that sent through super chats. Appreciate everybody that's watched the video for the full duration. Like the stream, subscribe. Shout out to our Hall of Famers as well. Y'all do what y'all do, and y'all know who y'all are. Y'all know how special you are. But in case y'all don't know who the Hall of Famers are, Multi Kenny, Worldwide Mace Television, Teddy Hart, Rob Deere, Minor, Joe Breezy, the chat MVP, Arch, Braden, Cheese, Kingster, Vale, and Trevi. Salute to all of y'all. And if you aren't a member yet, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and join up and become a member. But all right, the first super chat that we're going to go to is from Clips. Clip said Tim Duncan, top 3 all time. He never had a teammate that was top 10 in the league while winning multiple championships. Example, Kobe and Shaq, LeBron and Wade, Curry and KD, MJ, Scottie Pippen. Who else can say that?
Ginobili was close.
I'm higher on Manu Ginobili than most, and I think David Robinson was undoubtedly top 10 in 99.
Yeah.
So I disagree with your
2001 too, when he made the All-Star team. Yes, he was a top 10 player.
Well, they didn't win that year, but I disagree with the statement because I think David Robinson was top 10 in 99, and I think Manu Ginobili was a top 10 player in the NBA. But even if I agreed with the statement, I wouldn't care.
Yeah, that's a fact. I agree as well. Oh, also real quick, I wanted to say when y'all was talking about the passing thing earlier, chill. If Michael Jordan was a better passer, we'd respect Scottie Pippen a lot more. Fucking ball hog.
Pimp named Slickback said, Ox, how is Paulo Franz and Jalen Green going to be the first 10 spots? Who is getting bumped next year on the All-NBA team?
I never said Jalen Green was top 10, y'all. I never said that. I said maybe Kevin Durant isn't anymore.
You think Jalen Green can make the All-NBA team?
Next season?
Next year.
I don't think he's there yet. I don't think he's there yet.
I don't know. I don't know. Mars, no.
Okay.
I think Mars. I think he's good enough. I think Jalen Green is very talented. I don't know if it's going to come together like that. I can't say for sure, but probably not. I wouldn't bet on it.
Swiper No Swiping said, if y'all had to choose 5 players to drop onto Love Island, who would it be?
You guys watch that?
Love Island
Yeah,
is.
do you guys watch that? Because it's all on my timeline. People talking about it. But I don't
watch it, but I hear about it every day.
Mars,
I might as well watch it as
generation.
much as I hear about it.
I don't know what it is.
It's your generation that we watch.
I make it about. I watch basketball, and that's pretty much it. But like, I don't care about reality TV. It just doesn't interest me. So,
Swipe it, no swipe it. I'll answer your question. Anthony Edwards. Oh
my God.
Hell yeah.
Ime Udoka. Zion Williamson.
DeAndre Ayton.
Yep, DeAndre.
Oh, you still remember that story, huh?
And Tyrese Halliburton.
What? What Tyrese do?
I like Tyrese style. He don't play.
Okay.
He just stay with a pack of them around him.
He bringing a bus log.
Cool Joe said, come talk to me when Franz gets that hitch out of his shot before we putting him in JDUB convos, Ox. And this is coming from a Franz fan.
I don't understand. Put him in JDUB. Who the hell? Like, stop it.
Respect JDUB. He better than Jalen Brunson.
I respect JDUB, but I'm not going to say, oh, get the hits out your shot if you want to get in JDUB conversations.
I do hope Franz I don't care about whatever conversations he gets in. I hope Franz figures out the jump shot because that's really the next. He figures that out, and I'm not going to say the sky's the limit, but he'll be amazing. More amazing.
Trayvon Ray said, couldn't you just rename the positions? Because we know what's being said with swingman, wing, combo guard, etc. Those sound like positions.
I'm just thinking, like, if I'm coaching a team, right? Chill. If I'm coaching a team and I say, I need you to be my point forward, you know exactly what the hell I'm talking about, don't you? If I said I wanted you to be my combo forward, my point forward, my 3-and-D wing, all these are archetypes. So I'm just wondering, what is the position actually adding here? It's adding nothing.
The point forward position was made up because of Scottie Pippen in the triangle offense. That's what it was made up for. He was the primary ball handler. He was the initiator in the triangle offense. That's why it was made up. The center position, you are the center of the defense. You play in the center on offense. That's why you are the center. But because we are where we are today, guys do so many other things that we got to take all of this stuff away.
Joe, were you a shooter?
I got it.
Were you a shooter?
I was a shooter, yes.
Okay, perfect. So let's just say hypothetically you show up to the park and you just happen to be at 6'4", the tallest dude here. So I'm gonna be like, yo, chill. We running the offense. I need you to be my I need you to be my stretch 5. Is that not a hell of a lot easier for you to understand than I need you to be my 5? Yes. I'm simplifying it for you. I need you to I need you to be out here. I need you to space it.
I got it.
Hey, about Franz real quick. Playing with other shooters makes shooters better shooters. Desmond Bain might unlock Franz.
But does he unlock his hitch? Because I'll tell you this, when you got a 2-motion jump shot, you got a lot of places where that shit can go wrong. Plus, he got long arms.
Yeah,
it didn't look like that his first 2 years. So I don't know what
he getting worse. He's
How long is
below
Devin?
30% both years.
Yeah,
And you know
I
what's
want to know
crazy?
what happened.
He never shot below 85% from the line. So it's not his
He has good
entire
touch.
shoot.
He has amazing touch.
He does.
I
But
know what
he
happened.
can't shoot threes. What happened?
Markel
Wait.
Fultz went down there and gave that boy the
Oh,
hips.
damn.
This is your fault, Markel.
Franz came in. I think Franz was like 36% his first couple years. It fell off a cliff, and
It really-
you'll know like the
it's
moment the hitch came in year 3, and it
Like,
just the 3-point percentage just fell off a
Yeah.
cliff.
Mars, all that takes is a good July and August of form shooting. Not shooting on the machine, catching and shooting, dribbling and shooting, all that. It's just straight under the rim, 5 spots, form shooting. You got to make 1,000 a day, nothing but
Yeah,
the net.
he gets that
Get out
hitch
of there.
out. That's an all NBA player, like all
Yeah,
NBA.
get up on
caliber
your
player.
toes, flick your wrist. He'll be all right. No big deal.
Ronald sent through a super chat and said, Mars, just so you know, Peyton is not the best QB ever. That Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr., he has LeBron longevity with Jordan Peak.
I
Yo.
highly doubt that.
I have not watched
Shit,
two
Mars.
football
Don't doubt
games
that.
in my
No, I
life.
highly
And
doubt it.
today, I
Highly
watched
doubt
2
it.
people who watch football all the time tell me Peyton Manning and Eli Manning are the best quarterbacks. And even I knew that was bullshit.
Well, I still stand on Peyton, but Mars, Tom Brady for sure got Brown longevity.
You could stand on bullshit, you know.
I don't doubt that.
Important
I don't doubt that.
Hawks was the
I
one said that
I
he was
know.
the
I've
best.
seen quarterbacks
just-
better than him. So
I
don't
just
care.
said I just said it was a statue of him outside the arena. Ox said he was
And
the best. I didn't say
And
that.
I never,
Yeah, I stand on it.
said Eli was the best quarterback.
you're not
I
gonna
just said
tell
he was
me
the
that
best
Tom
man.
Brady got the
I didn't
highest
say
peak
that.
ever. You're
No.
not gonna
So
tell me
you
that.
you got Brady too, right?
Who's he talking to?
Peyton the GOAT.
Oh.
No, I'm talking to Ron. You got Brady
Yeah,
too, right?
Tom Brady, yeah. I don't think it's much of
Yeah.
anything to talk
He
about.
can be
you
the
don't-
GOAT. That's
That's-
fine. He just don't have the highest
You,
peak.
you don't sound very enthusiastic about that. You sound like a guy who, Tom Brady beat up a lot, beat up your team a lot. Is that what
Me?
happened? Yeah. Is this like
Tom
a
Brady beat up
LeBron? Is this like a LeBronto situation with me?
Tom Brady beat up everybody's team. Now, however, we were supposed to
He
beat
ain't beat
Tom
up the
Brady in the Super
Giants.
Bowl, but
He ain't beat up the Giants.
Hey, the thing about it though is I was a Giants fan at that moment in time. So technically I'm 2-1 with Tom Brady.
It's
all
Technically.
good. Should there
All
be
y'all had
better
to
than
do
all
was
of
run the
them?
ball, Ron. God damn. You got
Hip name Slickback said, no, we aren't Mars. Just because you draft a player high doesn't mean he's the cornerstone, especially at 8. A high-end starter is a great outcome.
Yeah, it was just a joke, buddy. I mean, in that segment, I said from the jump, Brooklyn don't have their cornerstone. I just thought I was going to make a ha-ha, but you decided to not go ha-ha, so ruined it.
Well, I'm not making a haha. Y'all got a cornerstone. Let's go, Igor.
Igor,
Oops.
you will
Jonathan
not butcher the European names anymore.
My bad. My
When
bad.
I'm up here, when I'm not
I'm sorry.
banished for an entire week, you don't get to butcher these European
It was a
names.
peaceful week. It was.
It wasn't peaceful. Y'all,
Very peaceful.
y'all were rage baiting just like KD said you were.
man, some of my gray hairs turned back black.
I believe that. I do
Mm.
believe that. I do believe that. I'd be stressing you out, major.
Jonathan Frazier said, Ron really asked if Chet is better than Bane. Yo, chill. When are we boxing this dude?
As soon as I see him. As soon as ain't no introduction, ain't no what's going on, what's up, Ron? No, I'm swinging on him as soon as I see him.
Hey, well, Jonathan Frazier, you can get knocked out with this nigga too.
So as soon as I see Ron,
Hey, while Ox
fire
over there
one
doing
day.
this to Allen L, you and Chill could get these paws.
firing on his ass as soon as I see him.
I don't take Allen L lunch money. That's my man.
Firing on this dude.
Well, then add him to the list. I'll take his money then. I'll add you to the list too. Alejandro Soto said all-time trolling from penetration right now. I don't know how he doesn't bust out laughing while saying this dumb shit.
Rage bait, is that what you was doing today?
I prefer penitentiary, but sure, penetration, whatever floats your boat, man.
Just don't get no penetration in the penitentiary.
That would be
Hunter
terrible.
just sent through a $9.99 super chat and said, Pin, what are your thoughts on the offseason so far? Biggest winners and losers.
Biggest winners would have to be Atlanta. I guess Denver, if they figure out this Jonas Valanciunas situation and don't force him to stay. I don't want to.
I thought it was done. Is it not done? I thought it was done.
I mean, he
He's
still
what
wants
now?
to go. He still wants to go to Greece. I
I thought
personally
he's
don't.
already over there.
Well, he's technically under contract by the Denver Nuggets. They have to release him. So depending on how that goes, biggest losers is got to be Pelicans. And I'm sorry, I know I have a bad reputation for hating on the Pistons. I promise you, this is not Pistons hate. This is more just segmented Duncan Robinson hate. But I don't like what the Pistons did this offseason at all.
I love what the Pistons did.
Why?
They got Duncan. Who else did they get? It was Duncan, and they got somebody else.
Karis
that was
LeVert.
beneficial.
They got Karis
Oh,
LeVert.
what? What?
Next
Yo,
to Cade,
you-
I've
Gonna
vastly
turn into a
prefer Malik
half-hour
Beasley
conversation that we don't
and
have
Tim
time
Hardaway
for.
Jr.
No.
Whew.
I
You-
am
you right,
banking
Shir.
if I'm the Pistons, and I know people say the East is all wide open and shit. Also, I say the other loser for sure is Milwaukee. No offense,
All right.
you keep Giannis, but I don't like 50 million for Miles Turner.
The Trib One said a first-round pick, Rui and Austin for Bam. Who says no? Also, if Braun is legit available, what team should go get him? I'd say the Cavs with Allen, Hunter, and a pick, or the Blazers with 3 picks, Grant and Rob.
If they can get off Jeremy Grant and get LeBron, hey, go for it.
Good luck with that. Ain't hell. Now that's something different, right there.
LeBron in Portland, that's bad for the league.
Awful for the league. Terrible.
I mean, he basically just lives in Nike's headquarters. That's his new mansion. Shout out, Braun. We got another super chat from, here we go, Highly Favorite Sports. Said, bro, Steph and Luka are both below the league average for defensive percentile. Brunson is in the first percentile. There you
Both
go,
below the
Chris.
league average in
That's
what
pretty
defensive
bad.
percentile? Is that what you said?
Yes.
So that's
What? There's
what
no
they get.
stat called If there's a stat called defensive percentile, you got it.
Hey, shout out defensive percentile.
Hey, yo, my man, does everything that come out of my mouth, you got to respond to it? God damn, get a life, nigga. Give me a break. Give me a break. Everything that come out of my mouth, you got to respond to it. Get a life. Go do something with yourself. Fuck out of here.
Banned. You got banned.
Fuck out of here, man.
Again?
Ban Hammer. Good
And
stuff.
if you still watching, go wash your dirty ass drawers.
This is why I say he was the chat. This is why I say he
ain't
was
even
the
brushed
chat
his
Iron
teeth
Man.
this morning.
Everything
why
that
I
come out
say
of my
he was
mouth,
the
you
chat
got
Iron
something to say
Man,
about it.
man.
Everything?
Boy,
Fuck out of here, man.
boy,
Mark,
ain't brushed
he
his
for-
teeth.
he for sure
Talking
got
shit.
snubbed. I
Yeah, he's
think
for sure the
that's
chat Iron Man.
that's disgraceful the way he got snubbed.
Damn. Everything that
He's
come out of my mouth.
overcoming bands like crazy.
Ox, you say something. No, Ox. No, Ox. No, Ox. No, Ox. You wrong, Ox. No, Ox. You wrong, Ox. No, Ox. You wrong, Ox. And that
Man,
goes on for 3 hours, Ox, by the way.
That sounded
all
like my girl yesterday. Chill. Everything I said, just what you doing? Just combative. Like, what's wrong with you?
Bro,
Maybe you was yapping. I mean,
someone wrote me an email
You've been drinking that
yesterday
water again. That's what it is.
telling me that I got to get off the panel yesterday, and I didn't respond. And he sent me 3 more emails continuing the same string of thought over the span of 2 hours. I feel like this dude should be on a watch list somewhere. I don't get it.
Man, Penn, they love you, man. Shit, they just love y'all. That's all.
All right, y'all, we got to keep it pushing. Sean Calloway said, where do you rank Cade in these lists? Detroit is way higher on my list. Great defense. Young players getting better. Rockets of the East, top 3.
what list is he talking about?
All right, we'll assume point guard. Oh, no. All players in the league. Remember we did the JDUB? Okay, top 3.
We'll have to
He probably
make it a
top
show or
25.
something because I can't tell you where. These
No,
guys
we're
rank.
going to
Yeah.
this week. We are going to rank the top 30
I'm not.
players.
Our combined one, is that what we're going to do?
Yeah.
Like where I'll say
Like
Jokic
on-
1 and then someone will say SGA 2, for example, like that.
Yeah, on the show. No, on the show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fine. That's fine. Okay.
Or
No. I'm not
all
giving you
right,
30
for
names.
sure.
I'm not
Okay.
giving you 30 names. I could barely give you 5. Like I'm not giving you 30 names.
Ronald said, what's a crazier take? Jalen Green better than KD or J-Dub over John Morant?
Jalen Green.
Jalen Green over KD easily.
Now every ounce of my being hopes Jalen Green is better than Kevin Durant. And that's not hoping Kevin Durant falls off a cliff. I'm hoping Kevin Durant gets back to peak Kevin Durant form, and then Jalen Green's still better than him. That's what I'm hoping for.
I just want to be clear. I did not say Jalen Green's better than Kevin Durant.
Mm-hmm.
Terry Lane said, what about the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s? The PC version, that's 5 different shows. Just a suggestion.
Oh, the all
Appreciate
decade
you,
team.
Terry
Is
Lane.
that what you're saying?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
all-decade
That
team?
would be dope to do that. I'm down to do that.
All decade team of the 70s. Oh god.
Chill, you have to carry that show. I'll do my research though. Grandpa Town said, how does Penn rank Jokic and SGA in another tier compared to Giannis? But Giannis is the best player compared to them in the percentile per position.
This dude took a picture of me from Facebook in 2007, something like that, and cropped it and put it as his avatar. Wow.
And he paying in euros, so he's hating you overseas.
How about that? Like, it's
He
late.
asked a valid question. Can we get away from the avatar and focus on the question he asked?
Talk about the euros, Mars.
That's love.
How is Giannis not in the same tier with Jokic and SGA if per percentile position thing, he grades out the best?
I think his creation for others and his passing ability is that much lower than those guys. But I actually don't think he's that
Relative to position?
relative to anything, relative to them. If you're ranking all-time, like if you're ranking the 5 best players in the league, we really are splitting hairs between some of them. Like you splitting hairs between Giannis and Luka to me. Okay, you splitting hairs between Giannis and Shea. I'm not mad at anybody who says Giannis is the second best player in
Different
the
from
league.
different tier, by the way. But okay.
I'm not mad at anyone who says Giannis is the second best player in the league. I think there's plenty of people up here who think Giannis is the second best player in the league, better than Shea. I got a lot
Some
of
people
pushback
think he's
when
the
I.
best.
All
Okay.
right, y'all. I gotta run, so we gotta get through these last
Go
super
ahead,
chats.
go ahead. I'll be quiet.
The next super chat is from Culture Bandit. He said, so he's gonna go from being the 3rd option on the Suns to the 4th on the Clippers. Why would KD he do that?
I think he's talking about Bradley Beal.
Yeah, he's definitely talking about Bradley.
I don't
Or
know
just
what
why would
Bradley
he do
Beal's
that?
priorities are. Like, Bradley Beal might just want to live in a nice place.
I think that's really one of his. That's why. He doesn't
Can the Suns buy him out and then just re-sign him?
No.
Oh, okay.
I thought that was
Highly
this one.
Favored Sports said Penn's logic is flawed because it's his own made-up scale.
I mean, all of our takes are our own opinions, for what it's worth.
Ronald
Double
said
creativity.
Mars's facial expressions be hella disrespectful. I know a nigga who got his ass whooped as a kid when I see it. Laughing my ass off.
Blink
You used to
twice.
get your
You
ass
need
whooped,
help.
Mars? Fred
He knows,
Anderson
apparently,
said,
so.
like in football, the outside linebacker / defensive end that rushes the QB is now called the edge player.
But we know that that's the DN, though, because he plays on the edge, which is where the DN plays. We know that. And he still has the same responsibility, which is to rush the quarterback.
I can't speak on that. I don't.
Military Man said Barnes is better than Jaylen Brown. 6'10", high-level playmaker, top 7 defender in the league. When he's back to shooting 36% from 3, watch out. Chat full of casual dweebs.
Canadian super champ.
Shout outs,
so
military
unbalanced.
man. I wonder which panelist brought that dude in here. Shout outs, military
he's
man.
a regular
Cook
in your
these
show?
dweebs. Yeah, he is.
Hey, Penn, you gonna start some U.S. versus Canadian conflict. You better tell your people to chill out.
My
I
people.
can't control them. No, I can't control my people.
Oh.
But Ronald sent through another super chat and said, nah, Mars. No, he said, nah. Mars legit got some Jamaican uncle that used to chase his ass across the yard with the switch for sucking his teeth and rolling his eyes.
Shout out to
sounds
my
like
uncle
Ronald.
Tyrone, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to my uncle Tyrone.
Shout out Tyrone, man. Shout out Tyrone.
Fly tie.
Yeah.
We got a couple members chats, and then we're going to go ahead and get up out of here. Romaine Jomac said, people keep coming up to me in public asking if I'm Chilltown. We don't even look alike. Shout out to Romaine. Mauricio Aguilar became a YouTube member. Shout out Mauricio. Ultimate Bulldog also became a member. Shout out to Ultimate Bulldog. Anon0316 became a YouTube member. Shout out to Anon. Lee Av Star says salute to the panel, and I agree. Salute to the panel, dog. Sean Calloway became a YouTube member. Shout out to Sean. Alejandro Soto became a YouTube member. Shout out to Alejandro. Jaza sent through a members chat and said, "Cook up, Mars." Laughing my ass off. JMC said, "What were your first jerseys you bought?"
Tim Duncan, number 21, champion jersey. I
I've never bought one.
saved $5 an hour $5 an hour. I was sweeping up convenience stores to buy that jersey. That was like 98, 99.
Chill.
My uncle gave me a Walt Frazier jersey when I was a kid.
Mm.
I know that shit sound ridiculous to y'all dudes, but yeah.
The first jersey I bought, y'all would never believe.
God.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Been locked in since a youngin.
Okay.
It was a throwback jersey, Mars. Mitchell and
It
S.
was. I'm pretty certain it was a Gary Payton and Sean Kemp jersey. Okay.
That might have been the first jersey given to me. The first jersey I bought, or the first I didn't buy it. The first jersey I told my mom to get me, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar jersey.
I've never got a jersey. I've never had one. Never owned one. Never been given one.
Ridgetown Hoops, the last super chat of the day, said, "Chill. Did you ever guest star on that 90s basketball show with Reggie Theus and Anthony Anderson?"
Yeah, did you see me? You ain't see me on there? Yeah, I was there.
W?
No, I wasn't, Mars.
Oh, could have fooled me.
All right, so it's been real. It's been amazing. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Maybe a couple different guests, but it's going to be a good time as always.
Merry Christmas.
Later.
Oh, tonight. Y'all know where to find us on Playback. We will be watching Bronny James, Carter Bryant, Dylan Harper maybe, and everybody else, Dalton Connect potentially. Y'all pull up, and show out with us. We'll see y'all soon.
Later.
Peace, y'all.